Hello. How are we? How are we doing? How is our reality? I am Dr. Brenda Jean Power, and that is about metaphysics. What is the nature of reality? What does your soul have to do with helping you have a life? And your soul is actually a happy soul. It's not a tortured soul. It's a soul that it's about experiencing. And how do we still define it? What do we need to do to heal it? You know, soul needs healing. I thought it was happy all the time, but it's how we identify as a human. As with our issues, um, reality is many, many things. But who is operating the body? That's what we really want to know. I'm just going to double check to make sure everything is working. And if you'd like, talk about reality, how to heal your life, then you can like YouTube and find me as Medicine Woman Solution. Let me just double check. Yes, it looks like I am live. Remember to hit the thumbs up, that helps. And share. We got to figure out how to get me to at least 1,000. And I've been doing this a couple of years, and now I'm studying a little bit more. It's time to jump in and figure out what is needed in order to have the particular life I want. But if I'm not looking at what I want through the eyes of my spirit, and I'm only wanting and longing and yearning, and there's really not a desire, then I'm always going to stay in the wanting and longing and the yearning. Hi, Angela. So, um, how do we even begin to have a life? How do we do what we need to do? And a lot of it is that we forget that we are the four ingredients to life. Four ingredients, yes, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Everybody keeps separating them. This is the 5D world is the idea of when you add consciousness to the mix of how you create your reality. Are you going to be the 5% or are you going to be the program self? People says, what is an awakening? The awakening is to wake up from how you have over-identified with matter, how you keep seeing and creating this particular consciousness. So I have a feeling we're going to be talking about a few things in the next few weeks because we just experienced, and the only marker, the benchmark, would be the eclipse. And this is where a reset, I would call in my words, where all of consciousness on a collective level is, it's grade, passing grade time, new school year has begun. Are you ready? You mastered what you needed to before. Now, are you ready for this new level? And, I'm doing my best to heal, to grow, to be more work with my heart, brain, and how to work with my aura, have healthy boundaries, do what I need to do, and learn everything I need to learn in order to help me. But I didn't just come here to help me. I come here to raise awareness of spirituality, and it has nothing to do with religion. So when you start to choose to be part of your 5% and create your reality, you'll start learning the difference. So I noticed that the things that I couldn't see are now starting to be uncovered. And I'm looking at the deeper meaning to what a belief is that I have always said but never understood. And that sounds kind of funny because we've mastered it. We didn't know it, we experienced it, we've mastered it, and now we forgot. And so now it's like we just do it unconsciously. We're a prodigy child. And it's like, well, why you do it so well? Well, it doesn't matter whether it's playing piano or having a hellish life. Can we take something and do reverse engineering, like on how did they make that product work? And you reverse engineer it so that you can make it. Well, I want you to understand we are learning. We do the four levels of competency: unconscious competency, and it is we're not aware of anything, and we're not really mastered it. So this is like grade school, okay? And you get to a point within that level that you know it all, nothing more to learn. You go from one extreme to the other what is the other extremes? This is the yin and yang. These are the positive, these are the negatives. These are the two faces of what karma looks like. And karma is always wanting to be balanced. But when we choose to over identify with reality and put on that mask and really take a plunge in, what does this mean? What does it look like? What does it sound like? And we stay there, we don't know we're supposed to, wake up and go, oh, I need to become conscious of this, of the thing that I need to unlearn and learn. So you need to see how you mastered and how you still have such a long ways to go. So we have done to the point where we've gone to the next level. We are now conscious of it, but we haven't mastered it. So that's going to be unconscious or consciousness of being competent. And then we're going to hit the next level of awakening and thinking and feeling and being, but not just your left brain. It's left brain, right brain, heart brain coherence as we're returning to love. And we do this with everything we learn, including just life itself. So you go to the next level and you're a little bit more aware. You can kind of look like the stages of your life where you're a kid and you're young adult to, like I'm 56, so I'm hitting that next stage of being. Um, so I'm no longer wanting to be doing kid stuff or partying or any of that stuff. I'm here choosing a different thing I want to do. So we're collecting stuff throughout and hopefully using it as a wisdom. So that next level then is you become very mastered at it so that you become very unconscious of it. Okay. Now, those 4 levels, I don't want to go and teach all this. What I want you to understand is where are you right now? Those that have been asleep are going to start waking up to having the soul's urge. This is that particular feeling that existential questions of who am I? Where am I in this universe? And does it matter? And then you'll be going, is there more to life than this? You will sound different. You'll look different. You'll be the one that's waking up in your family. And you won't even realize that somebody else maybe has woke up inside your family. Okay. Um, but you don't want to keep regurgitating the habitual nature of a thought or a belief. And instead of being the rebel, you'll become this quiet rebel, this quiet part of you as you begin to observe with your new level of consciousness. So you have that soul surge. There's got to be more to life than this. And then those that but have been sitting on the fence, you're more of a reluctant healer as you don't even know about healing. You see, you're like, yeah, but not everybody thinks this way. And I kind of don't want to be pointed out and saying, oh, they're the weirdo. And, oh, but I'm doing just enough. And I don't want to give up my family. I don't want to give up these habits. And, so then you're going to be in testing waters of more of a being slapped awake. Okay. You decide the degree of how bad do you need to be waking up from the slumber to that next level of consciousness. And once you start to wake up even further, so those that have been healing and been waking up, you're going to be starting to go, oh, I keep repeating this. Your language is going to change, your thinking's going to change. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do more. Because I don't really want to slap. I don't really want to bitch slap. I really don't want to be stuck in a knee-jerk reaction. I want to do more. Okay, so then you're like, you don't know where to turn. And you have all these symptoms that put you back to sleep. And symptoms are very important to learn as you're healing. So you have to recognize stuff. And you're starting to make sure you can start to reconstruct what you're doing by reverse engineering. And like, how did I do things? How do I know this? But your 5% is more curious to wanting to be present. Okay, and you may stumble a lot. You may do more 50-50, but you're going to see more joy than anything. And then you got, these aren't levels that are set in stone. These are just kind of a overview. So then some people they're really healing. They're really chugging along. And they start noticing the glitches in the Matrix. The weirdest part is when I was in Adelaide, and why did that airplane, you see it coming, and then as I'm turning sideways to it, so I'm looking at it, and it should be zooming, right? It's just sitting there. It looked like a hot air balloon just hovering, because it's tethered, helium balloon, but it wasn't. It was an airplane, and two airplanes did this. I said, oh, and these are little things, little glitches, little things that your brain's going, is she going to feel like she's going insane? Or is she going to start noticing that, you know, things are not what they seem? But you're not at this, hopefully you're not. You'll start moving out of that level of enemy, blame, competition, comparison, because all of that is what you're growing out of. You're growing out of all of this jealousy, envy, hate, anger, resentment, all of that. So we had this, it goes on and on and on to the point where my reset, I don't know what's coming, right? So my part of my reset was the energies about me. So I go into certain places and all of a sudden I get to see how I'm behaving compared to a complete peaceful background. And I notice that I'm who is this? Who is this? And it's a part of my personality that, oh, I got all these questions. And this is the thinker. Okay, so the mental part. This is the thinker. And a thinker that can become a worrier, or a thinker that's looking for clues. So I have a different language. So I'm walking in, I'm asking questions because I'm very curious about, my physical body and all of these things. And when I get an answer from this person, I know that spirit's using them to answer it. Wow, I never noticed that I was a thinker. And oh yeah, I do. I think all the time. But no, this was a basic human domesticated aspect. And why do I use the word domesticated? Because if you take, like, for instance, a wild animal that was tamed down to the point where you can put a skirt on it and have it do tricks, so there's different stages. Because I was watching a video and somebody goes, I want them looking at my ancestry. This is where we've gone with it. Serious? How do you identify yourself? So this wolf's like, I'm identifying myself as that I'm wild and I'm this and I'm that and I'm happy. And what's that? I'm almost ashamed to look at that. Well, there's nothing wrong with each of these stages, but how does one compare yourself to where you want to go? And I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh, interesting. I'm learning about my body. I'm learning about that I sound to this person, I sound like a worrier, or it's a drama. And I'm like, I'm in a drama. So what movie am I in? What am I writing? So me and my husband were watching, we watch YouTube travelers, and my husband says, we're going to have a story from every place that we go. And I said, interesting enough, my stories are always about a trauma or a drama. Not quite a trauma, so it'd be a drama. But that's not me. But it is a mirror of me. Yes, it's an aspect. I go, wait a minute. So my mirror is because I see somebody in my life that has to have at least three dramas before they start their cup of coffee. And that's just not me. But it could have been, it might have been, and it may be still a root. How am I not seeing? So unconsciously, I'm looking at how is drama part of my history, my ancestry, where am I? And hold on. And so I'm looking at this thinking, just taking a breath back. I'm being present with what have I manifested? What am I seeing? Not in judgment, but in your state of discernment. And I'm looking, okay, I'm seeing, I'm looking. This is very interesting, very observant. Ooh. And Yeah, remember to hit the thumbs up. Do that too. Subscribe, that'd be great. So I'm looking at this and a point of view, a very interesting perspective that I haven't seen before. So this is part of that awakening. I'm starting to see what others would see, meaning usually we can't see our behavior unless you're intentionally looking to see like people's reactions by understanding what energy you're bringing to the space. But nobody thinks about those things as much. And so I'm just observing myself, but I could see that I was observing myself as my spirit self, with discernment going, can you see how the mirror keeps happening? I'm like, yeah, because I have decided a long time ago, I'm not going to do that. That very fact that I pulled myself so far away of, oh, thank you, that I'm not going to do that, to the point that I can't do that. That's part of the schoolwork, soul work we need to look at. I was bit the levels of value levels. That values level 4 is more of the alpha beta sigma thing. And if a alpha energy comes in, can smack you down so hard that you can't get back up, you would come in as more of a pleaser, a fawner. This is supposed to give you experiences of learning about compassion. But what if you're so used to being there that you don't know how to be anything other than that? And you're like, well, I don't want to be this anymore, but I don't want to be that. But if you're not aware of the energy of putting in, I don't want to be that, I put in like 100%, I'm not going to be that. And you're like, I don't want to be a pleaser anymore. So there is wisdom somewhere, somewhere. Where is it? And that is where you have to look at where, so if I'm going, I don't want to be a people pleaser anymore. I want to heal that out. I don't have the nerve to let people down. I don't, and it's the nerve. I don't have the strength, or I don't have that. There's no way I'd want to manipulate. There's no way I want to sit there and, you know, control, to push people aside, to get what I want. But I learned that because I was, from that. But there's wisdom. You can't just keep going from one extreme to the other. You have to eventually get the wisdoms from both sides. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, I keep asking for permission, or I'm wanting something, but I was always no, or no comment at all. Let's ignore it. Let's let it go away. And I'm looking at my old life and I can see it. Now, if you can't see it, because you can't unless you look in the mirror. Okay, so if I'm looking in the mirror, I'm going to see me. But if I'm not having that mirror, then I'm looking at aspects of me. So I can see it through people. I can see it through books. I can see it through TV. I can see it, right? And so if I'm my 95% program, I'm going to absorb, and then I'm going to have a reaction, and it's going to look like I'm an amazing person, or I got a big heart, or whatever, or I'm angry and I'm an activist. You go all over the place. But who am I, that 5%? You're looking for that wisdom from those two extremes. And I thought, wow, I would never behave that way. Well, how do I know that? What is the not? I would not, I wouldn't even know how to begin to sit there and ignore, pretend like they didn't say it. Don't feed into it. I'm a people pleaser. I love to give, or was I trained to love to give? Or do I give too much because there's insecurity? So there's all of these other questions. And so I began to notice that I love to do, but would I have done it if I didn't go down the road? Do I really want to do it? Like when you go up to the dishes, I don't do the dishes, but after a while, you're like, I own something. I want to give it that taking care of moment, that feeling, that organizing, that beauty, not because of OCD or any of that, but it's because you have an appreciation and a value for what you do have and what you do own and what you appreciate. It's not about lack of or any of that. It's just, this is nice, learning to be in that present moment. So for me, I'm looking at going, I still hear, well, I wouldn't behave that way. That's a judgment. That is karma, which means if I don't understand why I said not, I'm going to create an experience where it's going to, is it going to be a whisper or is it going to be a, you know? So this stuff's coming to the surface. Now, here was an interesting thing. I went out with my husband. We had a couple things to do. Success, success, success. We decided we're going to go for a walk in our beloved Australia, Adelaide, and you know, visit the farmers or not the central market. Just go out and before we could head back home. And by God, I was like, "What's happening?" I almost got hit by two cars and a bicycle. Separate occasions, but so okay, so I understand maybe the first and second, but the third one, come on, clearly. The car stopped. It's a crosswalk. I mean, I made sure this time that everything was pedantically okay. Look, I look, I start to proceed, and out of the blue, this vehicle, it didn't even, I jumped back. By this time, because this is the third one, I said, I just want to go home now. I mean, I jumped and started to stim and the stimming, and I noticed that I had gone inside my head and it was just like, make the outside go away. And and it was just like, I am, and I had to listen. So I'm listening and I'm listening to my adrenals. I'm listening to my body. And the thing that my spirit began to notice the most is on the three things, the peak energy was how the energy came in. It never touched me. Now you can have many different answers, but one answer came up. It was how, let's say somebody got so angry with me as a kid and they brought all that anger towards me, but they never touched me. You could feel the heat. And then it falls short. I'm safe. I'm supposed to be fearful of it. I'm supposed to what? So for me, I couldn't make this stop and I couldn't make a stop. And I feel like this broken record. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm doing some healing and I'm paying attention to that peak of that emotion. And Spirit said the whole time, nah, you're safe. You're safe. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I'm watching my body doing a chemical peptide dump. My posture began to change to feel that, to hold that position of too much adrenals. I'm noticing that the asthma, everything started to get very tight. My heart, I'm like, my heart's affecting my lung. I'm like, oh my, but I couldn't get my body it was trying to tell me something. So all of the healing, I mean, yeah, happened under control. So what's going on? And so then yesterday, the simple act of just wanting to pay my taxes, it took me 4 or 5 hours because I called the government. The government says, oh, we have to get you to, you verified who you are, but I had a new phone, right? And this was a while ago. And they said, well, we have to close down that and you have to re-register, put all of the stuff back in, and we can help you do all that, but you have to do all this other stuff. And then you got to call us back and da 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 da. I'm like, what? And so after about 4 hours, I'm like, so the day before was 3 times I could have checked out. Nah, got stuff to do. I could feel the heat of this energy, but no, I'm going to be the peace in this storm, no matter how stormy it gets. I don't have to let the outside control me. And I've reinstated that I'm here and that what my name is. So I put myself back into my body without realizing I put myself back into my reality. I'm like, wow. And what I began to notice is how is my relationship to the new reality? Now, I don't know how you guys are doing, except for the dreaming is off the freaking charts. I have been nothing but dreaming, 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 dreaming. I look at my dream watch and I'm like, what? It's telling me, and like it's off the charts. And to me, it's like, and I know that I didn't sleep much last night because my whole body was doing this particular behavior that just didn't seem to want to relax, slow down. So mentally, emotionally, yeah, I got that under wraps, but there's a spiritual thing that I'm not quite sure of seeing. Okay. So what I'm saying is this new energy thing, the new level, where are you? Are you making the transition to that new awareness that's coming in? Are you having a little rough time? Does it make any sense? And I'm glad that Autumn, you're doing good. Hi, Lucia. How are you? Now, I feel like I want to go to the board to communicate about something, but this is where I kind of need you guys to participate to some degree. And what does it mean? Well, the participate was that I need someone to communicate with me and talk with me about, like, what are your experiences with something? How do you know you know? So get yourself in that framework, um, because it's how I know. It's because I know. This is kind of like what we started talking about in tribal. Now I'm gonna, in just a moment or two, you're gonna notice I've decorated my backdrop. I changed a few things, and so that I can, what you call it, so it doesn't look so bad. Ooh, hold on, not wanting to pick up like I wanted to. Why is that? No, that might work. Okay, so if you begin to notice, oops, hold on, people. I just got to make that transition a little bit better. So, my mother, the hat that my mother gave me after she died in 1992, and I got it here in Australia, that's there. Oh, you can't see that one on the end. That's interesting. Yesterday you could. The drums here is artwork from Lucia. Now, if you have beautiful, beautiful animals that you want to capture in a painting, not a picture, not a photograph, a painting of their personality. So this, if you've been watching my shows, this is Sky and Charlie, and they're white, but the colors of their personality had come through. And Lucia, the beautiful artist that she is, had painted it. So I felt like that needed to be there, along with my word hope, and then Charlie and a lyricate puppet. Um, but if you, I'll link all the information below. If you want to purchase an oil, oil painting, I'm not sure exactly which kind of oil or what kind of paint she uses, but it's beautiful. It's she captured them very well, and she usually tells you what she felt, how they came through, so you can little like reading with it. Anyway, I need from you guys. Now, this is very important that we begin to see this. What is it that we're hoping that you get to see? Now, some of you on TikTok are not going to be able to see it, and that's okay. You can go to YouTube and rewatch this if necessary, or if you want to learn something deeper. But it's because I know. But we need to know how we know, and it's our 8 sensory systems that is communicating. So we're looking at a perspective. Now, this perspective this is where people feel like they're stuck. So we're going to be looking at the spiritual body, okay? The spiritual is part of it. And the reason it's called the spiritual body is because that's how you create life. So the mental, the emotional, and the physical cannot exist unless you have some form of framework. So my spirit part of me, what perspective is it stuck on? Where is it at? So for me, we know we can say as a people pleaser, we have like noticing that to get there, it usually means that one of your values has been challenged to force you to change perspectives. And why was this an option? Now, what I've learned is it's about learning about compassion. And this is opening up the heart. Now, if I did not have some type of event or many events, like maybe you were born with a defect, or you have buck teeth, or if it's not physical, maybe it's mental or emotional. And what if you don't feel the 6 S's? You don't feel safe, secure, stable, serenity, or space, insanity. And you have to go through all of those hardships, that suffering, and you start to like, no, I don't want to be insecure anymore. I don't want to feel insane anymore. I don't want any of this. But you're going to have to break down, like, why did I become a people pleaser? I mean, I'm looking at it and then, yeah, maybe to feel safe. Maybe it's to, what do you want to call it? Maybe it is, oops, trying to see my board here. It's acrylic paint. Okay, cool. So anybody identify with being a people pleaser? Anybody identify to the point that, how do you know? So one is that I have a problem letting people down. Now, I'm not looking for approval at this point. It's just the moment that one of my sensory systems begins to notice when I'm no longer in sync with this person, my whole body, the physical part, starts to bring up and help me remember how I memorized it from the past. So my alarm system will go off and it'll be the words they say, but it doesn't affect my ears as much as it affects my physical form. So I will hear words. Now, how many times have you heard words through gestures? And then the sound effects. Oh, God, I don't want to. And as adults, you don't realize this, but did we grow out of our gesture stage, out of our whining, complaining stage? Have we grown out of that? Nobody thinks about how they need to grow out of the behavior of gestures or tone or I'm just going to say sound effects, because these are like triggers and clues. Yep. Okay, good. So tell me, what affects you the most? So I had said, so for me, it's this is linked to I'm just gonna put here an idea that I want. I want. So if I say I want something that benefits me, then what happens is that is it just benefiting me? Is that selfish? Because had this like, oh, you're being selfish. Well, I don't want that. I don't want to be, and you probably could clarify this, called something, right? You don't want to be called something. You don't want to be, so like they'll pick up a habit you have and they'll say, you always do this. And then because they are like impatient, they'll get annoyed and they'll have an intolerance and they're like, oh, God, here we go again. You know what kind of day we're going to have? If mom's not happy, everybody's going to have a miserable life. And it's these tones, it's these words, it's these, all of a sudden inside of me will be this, what? Don't accuse me of this. Why should I be ashamed? And I realized I have been carrying towards myself, I'm judging. And I'm judging myself, right? So what am I judging? That it's bad, that it's wrong, that they're right. Now, I got to get you to understand, why is this important to understand this? Because it's the point of view of my child self. Now, this means that the moment that it occurred, maybe is age 4. Let's just say age 4, okay? This child that's memorized it, it'll appear and show you, oh, I don't want to be called that. I'm going to do my best to not ever hear those words again. I'm going to, you don't want, what? So you learn to shame yourself. So you learn to shame self. And then this story goes a little bit further. You then shame yourself that you did it. Then you have this, the idea that they are right. Now, again, this comes from a 4-year-old. They are right. Now, this belief is so unhealthy to have. You understand? It is really unhealthy to have this particular belief because this is where you can't see it. This is where you get stuck. Oh, they're right. If I were to ask you to look at that and measure, not through the face of your 56-year-old self, Brenda, but looking as a little, that feeling, I believed. So I didn't have any parameters except for they're right, I'm wrong. And usually what comes with this is means they're right. There's no other way. And because it depends on how you got to be a people pleaser, you will not be able to get back up. I don't want to say, yeah, that's the best way. Get up. You can't get up because you've been slapped down because of guilt, of shame, because of their words. And you can only see one side of it, and it's painful as hell. You guys with me? You guys with me? So, it's not about approval. You can say it's about approval, but go deeper. So this is where we feel like we've lost our sovereignty or our autonomy. We don't feel that we have the right, or they know more than us, and therefore they're right, or they made us believe. I was with somebody that was like a walking encyclopedia, and I didn't fact check. So I believed everything. And the problem was that I blindly followed because I loved them. I didn't need to question them. But now that I look back, they were only using social skills about, look smart, even if it doesn't go that, don't look too deep. And don't question my facts. They were giving me words and gestures and tones that I didn't even think to have to question. But if they wanted me to do something. I didn't take and learn how to take my pen because I didn't know how to get up. I didn't know there was another way to do it. And so I have to learn this independence. I have to learn to take my pen back. I have to learn to be okay to let people down. But I didn't just have to do that. I had to heal out the fear, the guilt, the shame, the people pleasing. And I look and I love to see people happy. And I watch people, they don't even think twice that they would hurt somebody's feelings. They're like, well, that's on them. Or, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna like, so when I had kids, I had to learn how to say no. Whereas I've seen other people as like, oh, that's easy. Just, I won. Ha. No, no. Part of me would start beating myself up or I'd find another way or, um, like if I see someone suffering, I want to go and help. And sometimes we can be compassionate, but we can go over compassion. We can go too far to that extreme. And some people think, well, yes, you can. And you lose yourself and you miss the wisdom. So you got to go to that other extreme of not being compassionate, being too compassionate. But when you finally start including yourself in self-care, because when you are being selfish, you can't even have self-care because that was the belief system of the collective that said that's wrong. And then when you started to self-care, then they talked about it as mental health. And then it was like all this poo-poo and all of this, depending on where you lived and all that, or yay, good for you. Or so the collectiveness had to bring it in where everybody's like, to, hey, it's a norm now. You guys with me? Guys with me? I'm just looking and listening. Okay, so I see there's 14 people watching. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe. But I'm not just going to point this out. I want you to begin to heal. So you have to get some level of awareness to use your gifts. Everybody wants gifts. But if you do not know how to bring an idea into a reality, how to bring something through, learn to take action, learn to live it. You can be the most brilliant person in the world, but you will be not bridging it across. And some people will be leaving, scratching their head, going, what? I want you to begin to find out that you are a spiritual human. We don't need to be too domesticated. We don't need to be too wild. We're getting that wisdom and we're doing integration and unity of yin and yang. It is not about other people as much as we're kind of done with that lower frequency. And frequency as medicine in this case is frequency of shame is really low. It's way below 500. You don't even know you're guilting yourself. I thought I wrote down guilt, but I didn't. But guilt and shame. So what I don't want is what I have to heal. And what I have a belief that they're right. Wait a minute, they're not right. But I have to look at my younger self, not my fighting self. Have I ever felt it? Did I ever believe that right? As a child, you can't see it, but you can hear people. And they'll have great insecurities because they know the judgment's coming if they're seen. And it hurts. It hurts. Well, you can't self-regulate. Start healing it. But you also have to change the belief. We have a tendency to believe that when trolls come on, and who are they now? And who were they then? Who are they? Are they your mom? Are they your dad? It's not about blaming people. It's about how did you experience to download that app of this is how I'm supposed to be as a little human. You are here to rewrite your own code. That's why you're taking your pen back. What movie are you in? How are you being? And what I notice is I don't want you to, I gotta hurry and get it done so you don't complain. I want to get ahead of this so you won't say, oh, we're late. God, get to the, I don't want, how do I know? I don't want. What don't I want? What is it? What is it I don't want? What do I don't? What are you going to call me? What are you going to the complaining. If somebody's complaining, oh, you always do that. There's the gesture. There's the tone. There's where my a person in my life would always complain about women. Oh, they always talk on the phone so much. And if they didn't want me to be using the phone because they want to use the phone, they knew that they could give me a gesture, a tone, and those words. Sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. Bull crap. It's a spell. Do hurt. But we have to wake up and not be the 95%. We have to be that 5%. So we are writing our own codes, rewriting. Exactly. We got an eraser to boot too. And we're going to use our spirit racer to do it. But you have to do and use the body. And so my experience was in that reset was that I felt, and I don't want to insult anybody, but I felt, and I had this, I felt like a little kid. I felt very autistic or stemming or overwhelmed, or I couldn't make it stop. I could feel the insanity, and it was painful feelings. And yet I could hear inside my head that my energies were all a mess, but it was like, and then I couldn't hear anything past that. It was like, and there was be no words. And I'd be like, I didn't understand the emptiness. When we get a symptom to shut us down, that survival part of ourselves, no matter if it's going to be hit by something, attacked by something, whether it's words, and you have to breathe, you have to, and I was in it. I'm spiritually watching how I'm freaking out, how my body is, I'm starting to have an asthma attack, an anxiety attack, an adrenal cortisol attack. And I'm observing how my body believes there's an enemy. And I'm like, no, the energy rushed up, and spirit kept telling me, see the peak? See the peak? I want you to heal the peak. I want you to heal the peak of that energy. And that is what I'm really afraid of, is that they're going to follow through. It's like, not afraid of flying. It's afraid of the falling, afraid of the hurt, afraid of the, because when I compare it to like if you haven't exercised and you go to exercise and you're like, oh God, I don't have the strength. I mean, that's telling you usually you don't have the right vitamins or minerals or amino acids to help support your structure, your bones or your nerves. And then we eat crappy food to try to fulfill that, and then it wasn't the correct food. And most of the time people, and I will tell you, if you're not drinking water, you better start doing it, because you're made of water. And if you are drinking crappy water, go get healthier water. Make your own healthy water. Aw, thank you. And or don't believe like coffee and beer are dehydrators. But if your body's craving, because it's organic, minerals and vitamins and protein and amino acids, and it's asking you even for healthy fats, and you don't have the enzymes in your body to break it down, you're going to have a whole host of things wrong. But it can be just one thing that maybe needs to be corrected. But it's all connected to the energies, to all of this. And my gallbladder is like, here we go again. I'm like, what do you mean, here we go again? I finally had brought up the thing that was unconscious, started to come up, that the trigger in me can be, I don't want to be called that. When somebody in my life said, oh God, I hate the fact that women talk on the phone so much, and they're throwing this energy at me, I had a program so I wouldn't prove them right. No, I'm not going to give me any evidence to make it right. That worked against me, so I wouldn't stand up to be me. That one was, it took me a while to see. But I would catch how all of a sudden, like, fine, I'm not using the phone. I'm not going to, oh, you think I'm taking all the blankets? Well, here, you take all these blankets. to the point that I solved that, hey, I got a blanket, you got a blanket, you can't accuse me of that shit. And every time I go to snuggle and then you go and you say this crap to your friends to make, for whatever social reasoning, you just lost your ability to be cuddled because I ain't giving it to you. And there was all of this, and I'd hurry up because, oh, you're gonna be late, you're gonna be late. You're always like that. No. And I had to heal these triggers. But where in the hell do we think that they're right? Why do we have to be annoyed by it? And we have to turn towards the way that the shadow is made is when somebody, you're cute, and somebody tells you that it's wrong. You put yourself away, you put that love away, your heart goes, and you put on the mask of what they want so you don't ever have to hear or accused or criticized again. And once they know that, it becomes a weapon because they know they can control you. And all I can say is inside, we need to heal that. One, we don't need to be hurt anymore. Two, they're not right. Three, you got to be okay to let people down. You don't need their approval. And it's not just the activist or the fighter, the warrior. You got to become a very much a balanced human being. You want to stop that karmic. You don't need this. So when you start to catch the emotion where you're about ready to go in and go, I'll show them. How do I know this? How do I know this? It's because I know. But it's not just because I know, and it's because I now I need to know how I know. And that is where I'm going to go, how do you measure it? How do you do this? When I people please, I feel like my energy is squashed and I'm being unauthentic, disconnected, and from the very people I'm trying to please. Very good. Beautiful. These aren't just words of going, oh, no, this is how I know. Because I recognize the feel, I recognize the sound. You're using your sensory system as a spirit being going, not saying this is how ego would, hear my voice. You listen to her. She says, when I people please, I feel like my energy is squashed. She's looking with her spirit self going, energy is squashed. She can picture that. And I'm being authentic. She knows she's missing herself. I'm this, but why am I doing this? Okay. So now in the discovery is going to be a recovery. As you begin to do that, you are also going to apply tools and disconnected from the very people I am trying to please. And the point is, are we supposed to be connected to those people? Do we still need to keep doing these patterns? The hardest part is breaking the pattern because it's like, but I recognize that myself as this. Like my body was saying, oh, you're used to the trauma, you're used to the drama, but not mentally and emotionally anymore. So why in the hell am I doing it physically? And me and my husband are like, we don't talk about it to the point where it's, we're going to feed it to the universe, but we sit with it. We heal out what we need to. And then we look and we go, holy shit, we can see things, right? So that means we can create that discovery, not intellectualize it and fire and wire in our brain to be more, but to do reverse engineering and do the healing so that we can rise. Oh, and you can't see it like the phoenix. Yes, you have to understand you don't need to go out there for approval or validation. Now, I will tell you as a spiritual being, it can help you be use it as your bumper car. So my purpose is to Spirit has said, this is what you got to do. And it's about spirituality. It is to be that medicine keeper to help people see the unseen of how they forgot that they already know it. And I'm like, so I'm a medicine of the future. I am that frequency. So I'm a medicine woman from the future. So what that means is I'm not doing rituals and things. about how things are done in the past. So I have to bring in things that was already way before that we've mastered that we forgot. And now we're doing reverse engineering. So when I'm beginning to heal myself, if you can measure it, if you can understand it, so where am I needing them to validate me? Comes a question. Why do I need them to validate me? So then you'll feel like in this case, I need them. So you measure, I need them to validate me. And it's like a scale from 0 to 10. And it's like 1. For me, it's like, ooh, there's still a 1. Usually when it's a 1 or a 2, if you become an MWS tribe, you can learn some things. That means it's probably not the actual truth, but it's connected to another greater whole, meaning it's connected. And when you begin to heal this piece, it becomes like a domino effect to some degree because you have to participate in your life. You need to go, okay, so if I go and see, the reason I don't do Reiki anymore or reconnection or doing all those things because there's no conscious work from the person. There's no discovery to recovery. There's no participating and changing the reality or going in and saying, this habit that I keep replicating, I think I need to be changing it. And normally we sit back in different levels of consciousness and go, I'm doing a habit. I have to shame myself. I got to make sure nobody finds out about it because I don't know how to. But if we begin to notice there's a root and heal that root, then the rest of it starts to do a domino effect of healing in a different way. So I just want you to become aware. We don't need to do these things. We can identify and understand that these are in our life, but let's change that and change the brainwave. Let's change those emotions. Let's change it by going, next time you go into an on, I don't want them to, hold on, what don't I want them to do? Scold me? Well, how old am I? And that believes that I have to be scolded because I'm having the autonomy or the sovereignty over me. Again, you are growing out of all these things, but you got to see it and do some reverse engineering and healing. You can do this. You can do this. Thank you for your participation. Remember to hit the thumbs up. And all that good stuff. So let's get back over to the other camera. Okay. Let's see. I believe it's that one. Here we go. Okay. I'm back. Paraphrase for a few minutes and just look at what I might have said. What did it sound like? What did you hear? What stuck out? What were the gems? So tell me, what are the gems? What gem popped? What came out? What stood out? What resonated? What, oh my God, I need to look at this. Or I don't want to tell you because I have insecurities. Let's heal those. Let's really dive in to that if you wanted to. Oops. Yeah. It's like, oh, I want to come on. $24. I'm going to come on. Or I'm going to have a chat or a mini read. So speaking of all that, let me get my paper or my remarkable. We have Amanda that has a chat. We got Ayme that's coming on. So in the chat, which is $12, is Amanda. These are expedites, so her name goes in the drawing. We have Ayme, the same thing. So these are the video. She's going to come on and work through whatever it is. She did give 3 PIFs. So we do have PIFs. We'll have 3 PIFs that we get to play with. So thank you, for, Ayme, for that. Let me double check to see if there's anything else I've missed. Let's see, I feel like okay. Just listening to my moderators as well. Double checking the other room. Very good. Okay. Now, This new area of our life is, you're beginning to go through scratch. Yes. So yes, we will have the duck race because so if anybody wants to be in the duck race, to win a pay it forward reading, then I see Angela is saying yes. And I don't know if Autumn is still here. Autumn says the whole thing, the experience I had was very interesting. I would love a fifth place. So we're going to put Autumn down. And you get to look at your life instead of just saying, oh my God, this happens to me. You get to look at it differently. Tamara. Very good. What else? Cheesy noodles. I swear, I love that. I don't know why. But then I also saw another advertisement. Get some cheesy noodles. I go, well, hello, cheesy noodles. I need some energy. Spirit can be so darn funny. Okay. So we're gonna go right towards hi Morgan. We're gonna go right towards and Morgan, we're just gonna put you on somebody has gifted you a mini, so I'm just gonna put you in for the mini. So the mini is a gifted already, so you can gift and it can be part of the duck race, or you can gift and say somebody's name on it. So we have Morgan that's been gifted. So yay. Thank you, gifter. I don't know if it's supposed to be anonymous or not, but I'll leave that up to you. Hey, Zale, how are you? So I don't normally do cards unless you pay for a very specific where am I in my journey or what is my major thing. Now, I believe in cards, but not just in oracle cards or any of that. Hi, Linda. How are you? Um, my necklaces. Okay. So timing is important. And like somebody had paid for me to do something for them. And I feel like now, because we're past this hump, done. Like I said, I'm not always for it. So I'm going to look at this whole community. We are a community, a collective at this point, and it is where are we as a group that say, what don't we want to continue into this next part of our future? And we trust spirit to give us clues and answers to where we are going. Oh, interesting. Okay. You know, I gotta get my little glasses on because I can't see. They're purple, so that works. What don't we want to deal with anymore? And it ends up being from the Akashic Tarot deck. I do like this deck a lot. I don't think it's going to pick up properly. This is the card. It's the Ark of Covenant. It's number 11, but it came in reverse. And it says, what don't we want? So as a collective, we've got to look at it says the legal dealings at issues. If there are legal dealings at issues, this card reverse could show a broken contract or a failed legal transfer. Be cautious with professionals who care for your investments and other things that value at this time. While they may not be seeking to do harm, they could be more neglectful than they should. So they're talking about something that's serious in your life. It's not necessary as professionals, but where is it that you don't have the pen in your hand, that autonomy, and that you're not participating in? Where did you just kind of said, oh, well, you know all this stuff. You do it. I trust you 1,000%, and I don't need to participate. And that's the problem. We need to learn how to participate with our life. My discontinued Your live was discontinued due to edit. Oh, so I got to restart that one again. I must have missed the puzzle piece. Oh, sorry about that. Get back in there. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back. Goodness gracious. Sorry about that, people. I did not notice. Don't know who was all there. Uh, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you don't mind those glasses on me. um, but anyway, an auto clicker. Yeah, you probably would, but this phone is so darn old, it heats up way too fast. And eventually I'll get a phone. But the thing is, again, it is two things. As a collective, you need to take your pen back and not give your all of your authority because I just can't be bothered. This is going to be part of your little silent lesson. You do it. I don't want to. You need to step up to your insecurities. You know, you got to go into this little part of yourself and start facing where, hold on, you mean I need to step up to my own plate and take responsibility? Wait a minute, what? So, yes, even though your accountant may be your accountant or your whoever it is, whatever the situation, be involved. Get a say in this. Get a say in this. Okay? Because if you don't get a say in this, then you're going to play the archetype of the victim, the self-saboteur, the prostitute. You're selling yourself short, and the child of many faces. You haven't grown out of these behaviors. So these four archetypes are coming to the surface about whether or not am I doing just enough or I can't be bothered. Do these symptoms come in and make you force you not to be bothered? Or I don't know it. So therefore, oh my God, I'm going to get people to do it for me because that is old 3D. You are meant to step up, and this is what we're doing. And if you can relate to how I don't want to be the victim, I don't want to sit there, and I don't want to have bad things because ego will go, oh my God, bad things are going to happen. Okay, I don't want to hire me. No, that's not where I want you to be. If you are in that stage of going, oh, this is fearful. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh no, bad people are out there. Then I want you to go right wrist, second position, nice and deep. If you are going, oh my God, bad things are going to happen, and oh, I can't stop thinking about it. You become this hypochondriac on yourself, and you do the worst case scenario, and you live in the fear. Right wrist, second position, nice and deep. Okay. If you are going, where do I just do just enough? Why won't I take that extra edge and just do it myself? Well, I believe that I don't have power or I don't have enough information or left wrist, second position, deep. So we had right and now left. So this was about spleen, about learning how to mother yourself to get out of fear. This is about changing and saying, I don't need to use rational thinking and condemn myself like my child part of me would do. So left wrist, second position, deep. If you're in a situation where you're like, ah, I had this insecurity and I'm going to do it myself, but I don't realize there's an insecurity and I'm going to do it myself. And then you go to approach it and all of a sudden you find yourself not doing it and you're off doing something else. That's what's called a symptom. Then I want you to go right wrist, first position, soft. Oh, and go into the symptom of how all of a sudden you've got this, I've got this, and all of a sudden oh, you can feel it. You can begin to feel your nerves all going in that direction. Okay, so that's where you're going to go. You're going to heal this. Now, this is what Spirit wants us to do. Help change the collective. Take your part of how it still has to keep playing out, that we still have to give people the pen. Now, yes, taking advice is one thing. And if you're indecisive and you're like, yeah, but I need them because I can't make a decision, then I want you also to understand that is a frozen reaction, stress. Okay. And that is left wrist, second position, soft. I can't make a decision. I have to have them. Ah, get in there. Just get in there. You don't have to do that. You do not have to do this. Now, again, you can rewatch all of this and at any point on YouTube and become a subscriber. Share, let people know. Do I need these? No, actually, I don't. So I want to see, is she back? Okay, as soon as Amanda's back, we'll give her a reading. Ah, we love you too, Linda. I was told I needed to be here. Who wants to know? Well, who told you? It'd be my curiosity. And number two, what is it that you are you confused about anything that we're saying? Is it you know, because this is about growth. Oh my God, I just asked Spirit to help me in my health anxiety, and you just answered that. Yeah. Okay, she's learning that this new wave. So she's in kindergarten going, I just asked Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. And I just saw the answer. What? Woo, you're learning 2 + 2 is 4. You're doing it. You're getting it. Oh, yes, I put Lucia down for that chat or for the piffs. So, Lucia, we'll put your name in the duck race. We'll get you there. But who wants to know if you're still here? Give me a chat. Give me a shout out to answer those questions to see if I can help you a little bit further. Because if I've never read you before, you can get a free reading. And this is all about helping you see how to get cluey about you, how to discover what patterns or programs that are there. And if you can resonate with them, then you can have a healing tool to help you process this out. This is a quantum law of attraction. This helps you learn about more about how to become your soul, how to be your human self or spiritual human self. So we're creating integration. So I'm just looking to communicate with that. That leg is just incredibly huge. Um, set that like that. Okay, so we're just going to wait for responses because of the lag. Now, did you, oh, healing and finding that wisdom and eye-opening experience is a wonderful, joyful, yes, because it gives you that sense of that you're playing a part in your life and that you're not just a circumstance or an outcome, you're in charge. And it gives you that sense of satisfaction. The I can do it. And when you start to heal out the things that weigh you down, you become lighter and you can move into the next phase of who you are. And sometimes it takes a little longer in some things, but that's okay. Because you're not ever giving up on yourself. You're still chugging forward and you're starting to remember that if you can just keep seeing the results, you're doing great. And just don't get down on yourself. Heal that out. Okay. All right. So apparently, who wants to know may not be here. And I'm going to go and pull up the duck race. Got one last chance to know if you want to be in it. I'm going to open it up, Brenda. And then, here we go. Oh, let's see. What is this? Add. No. No, I don't want that. Oh, hey, I think this is free. Instead of a duck race, would you like to do a cute emoji race? Let's try that. I think that would be awesome. We're going to do emojis and see what you look like as an emoji. Huh? You think that? I think that'd be cool. We're going to set these names across. Let's see, who do we have? We have, oh, can't put that. Angela. Oh, it's Crystal not here? I thought I seen her, but I don't see her. Tamara, are you still here? Cheesy noodles. And then Lucia. So we have Angela, Autumn, Tamara, Cheesy Noodles, and Lucia. Yep, I see you two still here. Okay, Morgan has her own. Anybody else wants their name in the race? Let me know. Give it a couple more seconds here. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. I usually get to this point and then I go to the next and I forget. Who wants to know? Oh, April. Is April, is that the person that sent you? Is that the month? Is that Thor? Or is that Lynn? So need more information. More information would be awesome. And who wants to know if you have a name, unless that's your name? And have I read you before? And if not, I will give you a free reading. Um, I don't know who that is. Okay, so oh, hi, Robin. I just want to make sure that last call for PIFs. Anybody with it? Hello. Hello. Who wants to know? Do you have a name? Is that your name, April? You got me very curious of who you are. All right, let me April sent me, and you've never I think never read me. Okay, so that means you get a free reading. And I say April Lynn or nickname Thor, April Thor or Natazi. I know I said her last name wrong. But if you give me a few minutes, let's get this duck race going. Oh my God. Okay, so this is different, definitely is different. Hi, TP Animacon, you still have a free reading. I am resignation just out with the vibration of others put upon me. Okay, I am okay, so I have to read that. Oh, there it is. Just out of sync with my vibrations. Others put. Okay, so that means we can do some form of healing to get you back into who you are. That's what it sounds like that you need at this point. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, Lucia said she wanted a chat. Oh, I'm such a silly nilly. Let me put that in there. Lucia is for a chat position. It's okay. The reason I asked was because bring a friend, and if I knew which April it was, I can give them their name in the drawing so they can win. Chance to win. I don't know how to go back to being alone without breaking. Oh, definitely be able to help you with that. Okay. Now that I'm back on the right track, I need to fix this because so we have 4 players. Oh, it's a pay it forward. Not even a chat. So your name, do you still want your name into the so okay. So we have 4 piffs, we have 3 minis and 3 minis and a chat. Okay. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Thank you so much for the pay it forward. Her name will go into the drawing. So we still have Angela Autumn, Tamara, Cheesy Noodles, anybody else? Oh my God. Katie, want your name in the drawing too? Okay, so Robin, you? Okay, so Katie, I'm gonna put Katie's name in, and is anybody else let me know? And then we will get into the drawing and hang in there, hang in there. K9, thank you. That's what I thought, Miss Thor. Okay, so I will make sure her name goes in the drawing. Give me a few minutes to finish this up, and I'll be right with you to help you get back into some form of relief, and we'll see where you are at on that, okay? Okay, so now I'm just going to set this up, hit it up on Zoom, share screen, and those that are in TikTok, sorry, if you want to see it, you can. You just have to go to YouTube. Now, look at all these little, Katie, you do not have a mouth, you just have eyes. Cheesy Noodles, you look a little sad, and Tamara, you looks like you got a Band-Aid on your head, and Autumn, I don't know, you look nauseous. Angela's happy. So let's start this race. Wow. Okay, so we got Autumn and Angela that's happily jiggling, jiggling around. You can see this. I'm little Angela won. Oh, I don't know what to think about this. I couldn't even make a we're gonna shuffle it up. One has one. Okay, Tamara's angry. Katie's got a teardrop. Autumn's got a temperature, and Cheese and Noodles is winking. So let's get cracking on this. I love the music. Katie is like going, and then Autumn's like, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this. Cheese and Noodles is sneaking up though. She's a winking. She's a winking. Cheesy Noodles is gonna beat Autumn. Oh yeah, I'd say it is. So Cheesy Noodles with a wink, you made it through. And then we have our third race, and that's another mini. let's get some more. Autumn's kissing, Katie's smiling, and Tamara, you have a big ass smile. So here we go. Who is going to win this one? All three of them. Or is Katie's so happy? She's got this blushingness. She's jumping up ahead, and she's like, "I got this." They're all running sideways. It's hilarious. Oh, Tamara though. Tamara, Katie is it. Now we have the last one, which is the big one, and that's gifted from Lucia, and her name goes in the drawing. And here we go. We're going to change out, and we got Autumn winking. Tamara is laughing so hard she's crying. And let's see what we have. I know the music's kind of cool, isn't it? Okay, so Autumn. Autumn is like, I've got this, I got this. It's funny because they're running sideways. I'm just hoping that this music doesn't cause me to get shut down. Autumn has won the 12 minutes. How do we stop it? There we go. And we're going to hit stop share, go from there. And the last one, that one happened to be Autumn. So thank you for all that is playing. We will get to those in just a minute, so don't go away. The first one is we're going to do this free reading real quick right here and get their mind back. I can't heal anymore. Well, this is why Autumn or Thur thought that it was important that you come here to see me. So first of all, I see that your energy of your spirit that's supposed to be in the body is basically out there from a trauma. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. So what does this look like? And we're going to help you. I'm looking at how the energy is like, you've got no energy moving into the frontal lobe. And this is causing you to be going more into a depressed state from what I can feel, and creates these particular thoughts. So I'm asking you, so are you ready to do certain things? I said, yes, you just have to follow along. Can you do that? Okay. Okay. So to follow along is that we want you to understand that you're going to be using yourself to do this. We want you to go to the right foot, go to your right foot. And you're going to take and notice you got a big toe. So that means what? The inside of the leg. You're going to notice that the bone here, and just past the bone is the point. And I want you to do some rubbing. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to start rubbing. Why is this not working? Hold on, I got to figure out what's going on there. Rub that 30 times. Now, sliding doesn't work. You push in and you start to penetrate it. To really get you to see it is you push in and you manipulate it. Push deeply. 30 times, 30 times. And the right side. When you're done with that, let me know. Okay. Katie, that's funny. Okay, so once you're done with this, who wants to know? If once you're done with that, let me know. This delay is what's going to be the hardest, but it's okay. We care about people here. We also care about order. And so after we're done, I'm not sure. She's back, but it would be Amanda. And if not, then we can go right to Lucia. So or not Lucia. Sorry. Because Lucia, God, that energy's all over the place, isn't it? And you're gonna let spirit choose. Awesome. Were you able to focus and able to do that? Just touching and rubbing. Let me know. I just want to make sure I'm not going too fast. We're on the same page. Okay. Somebody says the teardrop tattoo from prison. No mouth, teardrop, then smiling and one. Yes. Let's just see if we can get this. I'm not sure which screen to really look at. It's amazing how our brain, our frontal lobe creates realities. That's one of the things it's supposed to do. And if we have a personality, and that means sadness, grief, or whoever it is, the meridians will put the brain so it can't create reality other than what it knows. And so when you're going through a particular issue, a trauma, a drama, and your heart is breaking, and your brain gets worse, it'll be like you are in hell. And I know that state. So if we can do our best to get you back, and we have about 20 people watching, please do a little thumbs up and, hit like, subscribe, ring that bell. Looking for who wants to know, did you do that? You should be done now. Are you able to do that? My name is Cody, and I'm afraid. Okay, that's fine. We don't have to do that. Just follow along. Who wants to know? Okay. I don't know if they're still here. Because if you're not ready to actively take part in just rubbing points on yourself, then I can say, instead of getting you to get into the calm, to get into being able to shift that energy into your head, then I'm going to ask then, can you allow yourself until we meet again? If you choose to want to go forward, I can't do anything unless you choose to do it, because it's your partition. I know you don't want to go through this again. You're like, no, I can't do this again. I can't do one more second. I can't. Then if you could just allow yourself, when you choose, to put your right hand, and if you can take, hoping you're here to listen. Anyways, I'll give you this. I'll see if they're there. I don't know what's happening. Right wrist, second position, pushing deep. That means not soft, pushing deep. And you do this. Okay. Safety, security, stability. Pushing deep. Place your hand like this. Let the fingers drop. And I just want you to go, no, I can't do this again. That feeling you're in. Okay, we know that's got to be beyond a 10. We need to get the blood back up. Because your blood is not in your forebrain, it's in your limbs because you're so stressed. Not okay. So because of the delay, I'm just gonna move on, I guess. TP said she would come on. That is awesome. We will send you a link soon. But is Amanda back yet? Is Amanda back yet? If not, we can move on to the next stage. So Katie says, for mine, I would like a positive message from my guides. Positive message. Okay. Okay, I don't see. Oh, you did it. Okay, good. Okay. Let's see if we can get it. Are you ready to? I'm not sure if you're getting all of the messages. Left side, use a magnet and explain. Okay. Now, you are going to go to the left foot. Left foot, you're going to use the hand. Okay, we're going to use the palm and the back of the hand. And you're going to go down to your left foot. And you remember that point that we used on the right? This is the left. You're going to take your hand and swipe it across. Palm, 1, flip it. 2, flip it. 3, 4, and just keep doing this. And I want you to do it 24 times. Okay. I know the leg is just something I can't control, but wow, when you're doing a show, you kind of need to learn other ways to improvise. Once you're done doing that, then I want you to push in and just like we did on the other foot, okay, push in and deeply penetrate 30 times. Your meridian in this body is it's frozen because of whatever it is that you've gone through. We're going to help support the body so that you can get to the next stage of where it is that you can begin. You're here for a reason, and you are meant to get yourself out of the storm, even if it's painful. That's part of the soul's growth. So, to help you understand again, left foot, follow the big toe, same spot as we had before. Use the palm, flip it over to the back of the hand. Do that 24 times, 12 on each side. Then you're going to push in deeply. But it doesn't have to be unless you have to choose. You have to choose. I used to feel like I was insane. My natural state at the time was hell, but that's not our actual natural state. This is a perspective of reality that we are over identifying with. You got to choose. Don't be here because April just said so. I want you to be here because you want it in some regards that you want it. I don't want you to feel like you're being pushed. Nobody's here to push you into getting out of whatever state you want to be in. But if you want something more than the natural state of hell, because natural state is actually joy and peace and love and harmony, you just kind of forgot it. If you want to stay in hell, again, I can't stop you, and I'll respect wherever you want to be. But if you want to know we care, we're here. We'll help show you that we can help. You can help yourself. Okay. So once you're done with that, let me know. My body is what in the world is it doing? Hmm. Like I said, this leg is rather interesting and bizarre in itself. While I'm gonna keep working with you. Who wants to know if, as long as you want to do this, I'm going to give Morgan her mini real quick. And Morgan, did you have a question and or any of that? Exactly. You got the power of choice is a very important. But we got to first see if we can get your mental state, that energy to move, so that you can notice you have a choice. Just waiting for Morgan now. Just waiting for Morgan to come up. Oh, there she goes. Recently, I have been wanting a family of my own, and I'm not sure why or if I'm actually wanting it or if I meant to. Now that's a really important question because it's about I have this desire, and I said, is it an actual desire? And it says no. Is this feeling something that you picked up from somebody else? And it was yes. And so hormones can play a big part. And they said, yes, the hormones. And it is in that wanting to connect is what it really wants. And that it wants something to move forward. And I'm looking at this. So I drew you a card because Spirit said, this is what's important about this new phase that we are in as spirit beings. And this, yours, is about the Akashic record, but it's in reverse. And how is this connected? And this is about you're meant to seek inside yourself more about your energy. And that is to discover more about, to release certain feelings. The book of your Akashic records, which seems to be seems to have landed face down can be uprighted again as soon as you write upon it. Meaning these feelings are pulling you farther away from what it is that you really want. And so you're doing the next logical step, which is maybe this feeling I have is supposed to be that I'm supposed to have a family. And your spirit is telling me you're not meant to settle. You're meant to evolve and to get people into your space, but not necessarily to have kids or any of that, but to get to develop that new part of yourself, that relationship. Now, what's interesting is that you're beginning to learn about emotions and what kind of emotions you have. So when I say, do you have the desire to connect with people? And they said yes. Do you have the desire to want to be responsible for little humans? Or and it is no. And then it's like so it's not about caregiving, but I would like to have a significant other or something to the point where I want to experience that next phase. And I said, okay, that's good. What is it you want? And they said, there's this feeling that I get from people, and I kind of mimic them. And I don't, so who in your life do you feel is feeling hopeless? Like, oh, they can't have it. Um, I had thoughts on if I should possibly adopt if I was meant to. Okay, so again, I feel like you're picking up somebody that's hopeless. Now, if you're ready to adopt or you're ready to, you got to first start creating that foundation. And that is what you're meant to build too. Okay. And it's like, I'm going to put a goal that I want connections and a family. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have this feelings of having to have your own kids. When I asked Spirit, what do you want her to do? And it said, the feeling is that you made some choices about wanting to move out, to have, get a job, change schools, do whatever it is. And I feel like somebody in your household don't really want you to leave the home. So has anybody ever made you feel, or have they ever expressed that they don't really want you to do that next phase of your life? Because I'm watching how the body feels like um, your desire that you have. So in this case, it is I'm supposed to be in the longing or the hopeless stage that I can't have it. I feel like somebody might have said, well, you have a condition where maybe you shouldn't have kids. Or I don't know if you're strong in it. Somebody has a negative belief, a discouraging communication is what I'm seeing. And if you can catch the fact that they are wanting to keep you protected and not let you go out in that world, then I want you to go right wrist, first position, soft. Okay. And I want you to go, hold on, where am I'm believing that reality that they are having. Remember, it's theirs. So if you can kind of feel it, then just go right wrist, first position, soft, and just kind of look at how you can hear those words or see the gestures of the tone, and your body wants to respond. But it sounds like they're trying to guide you in living a life that kind of what they think you should have. There's a part of you that's like, no, I want to experience my life. Okay, from there. I do feel it's whoever, it could be also not just one person, it could be the whole family. I don't think I want to physically have kids. Yeah, you don't have to. So yeah, down the road, I would try babysitting. Yeah, give them back. Or whatever. You may not have the mental capacity to wanna put up with it, or it's like, but at the same time, get a puppy, do something to experiment with, to feel and love, to start building, because a child is for completely for life. An animal, because they don't live as long as they normally like we would want them to, um, can provide a lot of growth right there. All right, so who wants to know? Says, I haven't forgotten. I'm not allowed to have joy or peace anymore. So this is your conclusion of your world, that it is finalized in your mind. And the only way that you can talk to yourself is in those words. And I'm going to tell you that is one perspective. But I can't help you unless you want to say, I want out of it. I'm not here to say that none of this ever happened, but why did Thur send you? And is because just placing your hand on your head, and I'm sure she's told you to do this, your blood has left your forebrain. It's in the stress state of fight, flight, freeze. When you are in the freeze, you are going into depression. You will go into the state of hell, which you don't have to live there, but it'll feel like you can never get out. The question is, why did you choose to show up? Yeah. Did you just follow orders? Did she push you? Did you feel like I need a little hope? Because if you don't want any of that from us, I'm not going to sit here and give to you if you don't want it. I will respect wherever you're at. If you can, we love to put your spirit back in your body, but that's your choice. You can allow the energy to come back through the bottom of your feet by sucking up the energy around you. Because when you're sucking it up, you're not sucking up bad stuff. It's only the good stuff. So if you actually literally imagine that spot on the bottom of your foot just sucking, and you bring that attention sucking energy, then it can start changing. The whole point is we need to change who's operating this. Is fear operating it? Because it doesn't sound like it's your spirit or your heart. It sounds like fear. It sounds like just left brain. It's up to you. It's up to you. But I can't help you unless you choose to want to be helped. Do you understand? I will not push my agenda. I will respect where you are. Oh, okay. You got it, Amanda. You got it. You got it. Okay, so what I'll do is Amanda's willing to go live. She's like, we're going to change that chat to a live. And then we have chat going to bed, rewatch tomorrow, and you'll do your thing next week. Okay, so a chat, I will put April Lynn there, and then we'll have Amanda over there, and then PP. So we have Morgan done with her mini. Very good, very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm asking Spirit, in which direction do you want? And I feel like she's probably ready. We're going to do Angela and Cheesy Noodles and Katie. Okay. And then Autumn, because you won the big one, we're going to slip you in between. So Angela, you said whatever Spirit wants. Oh, good. Okay, good point. This is in Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. And my other clock is in Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. So yes, so if you the best way to do this is to say 22, double that, and then add 30. And so then you kind of get a record idea of what the actual temperature is in Fahrenheit. That's just a really rough estimate. That was a good call on your part to notice that. Okay. So Angela, the one thing that Spirit is telling me that's important for you during this whole event is you got to start drinking water. You need to start caring about putting B vitamins into your system. Because it is nutrition, go see a real doctor, a physician, a naturopath. But you need to start putting back what your body wants. Water is definitely one. Again, coffee is not water. That is a dehydrator. Then Spirit is saying that, weird, Spirit is also saying, you are getting ready to take that next big leap because of this new energy that's here to come into your ability to sustain yourself, to have great power, to get results, to get over that hump of you can't do it, get over the hump. Okay. And it's like you're ready to, instead of be standing on your head, you're ready to come upright. And what you end up having is the Queen of Forces. And it's about appearance and learning that love is possible, life can be possible, but you got to get the reason they're saying they really want you to drink water is because water is a conduit in the body. So if my electricity's off, I'm not going to be able to turn and work on my computer. It's not going to work. I need electricity, and water is this part that lets you connect up. So if I'm imagine that I'm touching a light socket. Okay, and somebody touches me, that's going to travel through me to them, and then they're going to be zapped as well. So the question then remains, are you allowing yourself to provide your foundation a little bit more with what can be just as easy as learning how to have water? Now you can put electrolyte stuff in it, but be careful of using fake sugar. I'm not talking, so for me, I use like xylitol or stevia, which is way better. So it doesn't really cause a spike in my, spike the insulin. Okay. So you got something there that you need to do. They also said to help you once you start to put the electrolytes back in and the B12s and things that the stress burns out of, they want you to notice how much you believe you have to limit yourself. They said this, oh, I can't do it. They said that, they said, notice how you limit yourself. If you can begin to wake that up, you can go right wrist, first position deep and go, okay, I don't want to limit myself anymore. You have Skittle packets. Don't know what that means. More information would be nice. That would help out a great deal. Now, you're going to have to learn, again, electrolytes, the minerals that come from the water, your body, I can just hear it craving. Your brain needs it. Okay. If I was going to do energy work on you, I would have to have you drink water in order for the energy to move and to balance, because nothing's going to balance if you don't have that right amount in there. Oh, okay. Hopefully learn what the ingredients are so you know that it's safe for your body. Let's see here. Okay. I will address this again. So who wants to know? Notice how, because of the brain intellectualized it, the left brain is like going, I've got to be safe. I got to be safe. I got to be safe. You're not using your whole self. So what happens is that we can't help but to see from the end result, and we're constantly thinking, no, we know these things as a child. If I follow orders, they won't be as mad at me as long as they give correct orders. And the thing is when you heal out that perspective from that angle, and this is where healing, you don't understand what I'm saying, but when you balance that out, you're going to be much stronger because your brain will be in it. But right now, you can only see one side, and the healing tools I'm doing will help get both parts of your brain to work, and so you don't have to be in that particular state. Not sure why that camera's like super close. They get mad at me when they're wrong, though. Exactly. You need to heal out how that energy just keeps, getting pushed down, squashed. Notice that. You can heal out that energy in that position, and you heal it to the point inside your brain, everything starts to balance, that they can still do and be as shitty as they want to be, but you're building the strength from the inside out. And because they had you convinced so much that you're not right, that you believe it, we have got to help you bring that energy back up to your blood so that you don't have to believe it anymore. Okay? All right. So the next person is Cheesy Noodles. Cheesy Noodles. cheesy. Oh, cheesy on this one, I think. Um, and then Katie. Katie said she wanted a future or a positive reading, a positive reading. And so that means I'm just letting spirit do what it needs to do and get in alignment with that. Miss Cheesy Noodles. Let me see what I have here. Because you said you just wanted a positive one and a report card one. See what I can come up with. Ah, thank you for the fours. Not future. I have trauma from tarot readers. So let's go to the positive message from guides. Yeah, that's the term. So we're going to use her correct words. And that is, she said the positive message from guides. You can heal the other if you didn't know. There's Miss Cheesy. Oh, Lucia, no. Hey, now, did I fulfill everything you asked for, Lucia? You didn't want something very specific, correct? Glad that you're here. Thank you so much for your gift, and your name can go into the drawing. But if I missed something, let me know. I want to make sure we're on the right page. Miss Cheesy Noodles. I'm looking at where you're at, and it says that um, that silent brooding that you used to be. So it's like I'm getting it. I don't have to choose to do that or be that or choose. And that's like correct. And you're noticing that when that invading energy comes in, because you've been healing inside, you've kind of made this hold on, I don't have to take that in. I don't have to react that way. I don't have to go in autopilot. You're waking up further inside, and that's so beautiful. And because you're doing that, you're noticing that I don't have to put on a mask for them. I don't have to be the good girl for them. I don't have to do this for them. See, before you thought you had to because there was a part of you that had all of this fear, but you've been healing out the fear. And you're like, this, can you feel your strength, Cheesy? Can you feel how all of a sudden it's like the things I used to believe are now changing? So spirit is also putting out there that there used to be a habit of worry. And it's like, do I actually have to worry? So you're questioning in another level. You're watching the program of how people worry and watch, and you're like, but I don't want to be that. You're learning literally exactly. Yes, good. So you have a lot of great report and all of that. And now they're saying that you're ready to heal the temptation where part of that auto knee-jerk response would just happen. They want you to notice, like, oh, as soon as you feel the outside doing that, you're going to go, I can take and I can heal that because I don't need to do that. So it's about the temptation. So just got to use that be your key words where it's a temptation you want to react, a temptation to want to go and to say that, a temptation to believe that. Left wrist, second position, nice and deep. And you're like, hey, I can feel how I'm tempted. Go heal it out. You don't need that stuff. Nah, you don't need any more of that. You're all good. And I love it when we can change this particular point of perspective. Okay, so now Katie. One of the things they want you to work on is your second chakra. And they said, in the second chakra, what good news do you have from this? And they said that you're learning that you do not have to believe the outside. Is that true? Do you feel that, Katie, that it's like, hold on, my guides are telling me, yeah, it's like your guides are saying, you've got this. And they want you to realize that when you move into this position of inner strength, higher connection strength, you don't have to use fear as the filter. You don't have to use their outside environment of other people and their belief systems and their gestures and their tones as your filter to give you the truth. You're like, no, I need to go inside, and I'm connecting with that heart space of love, not the chemical induced part where it's supposed to trust everybody. No, but that awareness with spirit going, I don't have to have an enemy. I don't have to see the enemy. I don't have to believe and get caught up and I don't have to put on a mask. I don't have to. You're discovering I don't have to. Hold on. I don't have to. So the moment you're going to believe it, you're going to go, Yeah, but do I have to? Or is it true? I'm supposed to feel like that. Is it true? Uh, No. You're going to move into more spiritual facts than you are egos, human fear facts that say they're spiritual. So you must have been really listening to a lot of people that were in their ego state that says they're spiritual, but they don't know how to connect with that higher self. They just only know how to connect with that ego intuition. Because you're like, I'm seeing the differences between the intuitions. Very good. You don't need fear and ego to be your gods or to follow that. And once you stop listening and being drawn in, TV, radio, people, no, turn them off and tune in. And when you start to bring that balance of the heart and the brain in, you're going to go, that feels good. It'll be completely different feeling, a completely different feeling, because they're saying you're developing your second chakra through your sixth chakra, because the level of consciousness is that you don't have to, and level of consciousness is the same thing as chakras, okay? But it's the chakras are the data centers, but the levels of consciousness is to rise up with the wisdom from all of that and not over identify with it. And you're learning that with awareness from your spirit of the high heart of the love, it is that you do not have to see the enemy. And so the intuition is not that you have to look around going, oh my God, oh my God, oh God, with fear. You are meant to remove this particular filter and go, that's an option. Yeah, no, I'm calling my power back. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I said that Autumn, hang in there because someone has paid and they are ready to roll. I'm going to get the link and go over to get them. Oops. There. Popped up right. Okay. And there it is. Let's just hopefully it went across correctly. See how that goes. Oh, didn't even realize that was open. Okay. Okay, so I'm just watching. It says I'm still going out. That being said, putting your head is one of the best ways that I can get out of the Trump. Good. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm glad that you're able to not have to go and follow through and be in the hospital. You can really get ahead of the game of a lot of things in your life. Katie says, on point, mama. Good. Good to hear. So we're going to bring in our guest, Miss Amanda. And yep, I got the right view. This is going to be good. We're going to see how Spirit wants me to show up to help in whatever way, whatever it is that she would like to communicate about. I thought a lot of purple and pink today. Not sure why. These seems to be the colors of healing, of intuition. Oh, see if we
I'm
got it.
here.
Oh, there you are. I do. Okay, I do hear you. Good. I was just want to make sure.
Okay.
Turn it up a little bit. How can I help, hon?
Okay, so I was gonna do the chat and I was like, oh, okay. I felt like there was just a lot to say. So, I went to bed, been having a lot of weird dreams, woke up this morning, went and sat on a stool in my bathroom as I was waking up, and then all of a sudden I fell forward and almost, I don't know, it was a complete startle. I was just like, whoa, what's going on? All of a sudden I felt this weird dizziness, which is the only way I can describe it, in my head. I wasn't visually seeing anything move. And then I felt like it all day. And
Okay.
I did have another, it kind of started like last Saturday. It was like I was walking, and then all of a sudden I thought I saw my daughter's car rolling, and I was like, ooh, like my feet were like skipping a beat, and I was like, whoa, like I was falling forward. So I just had this feeling of falling inside my head.
Nope, that makes total sense. So one of the sensory systems, we're so used to uh, eyes, the ears, and all of this, and we're like, oh yeah, it's just the ears, and it's that. Well, the vestibular system is how your positioning of your head, your function, your stabilization, your posture, everything, your spatial conditioning. It's like, where is my self body awareness perception? Okay.
Okay.
So if you are like you described, it's not just an internal thing because that's another sensory system, but this is like, where are you sensing yourself in your physical space? And for you, you thought, hey, I'm on the edge of the stool, and you weren't. You were fell and this and that. And then all of a sudden you look over and, oh, wait, what? It's that strange feeling when you think your car's rolling forward and it's not. And you got all of these weird things that are happening. So you're getting mixed signals from another sensory system. Um, and I'm looking to see if it's, I feel like it's more of a tactile thing, more of a kinesthetic tactile, which is in digital. How do I explain that one? Okay. So when it's like I have to touch it to understand it, to sense it. And at the same time, I'm afraid to lose control, because if I lose control of controlling, then what are you afraid is going to happen?
Mm.
Well, what's the fear? Getting hurt, that it's going to be painful, that because you're running from something, and do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, my daughter's going to be graduating in a month, and there are big changes happening, and I felt like I was doing good, but I think I was also like really suppressing
Yes.
my
I'm,
control.
yes, I see. As soon as you said that, it's like want to be, I want to and respect. I want them to move on to that next part of who they are. And so you have been pushing down the lofty. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to behave this way, but your brain. Now, here's the key kicker about the brain. The brain will give you whatever it is you want. So if you want to be out of a conversation, but you're not brave enough, or you don't have the skills, or whatever it is, the brain will go, oh, I've got this. Let's get you to have diarrhea. We know that works. You can't stop yourself. So the brain only does the next best guess. It does what it can to get you to safety, and based on everything you know. So I'm looking at how you're suppressing part of your personality instead of resolving it out. You're suppressing because you're like, but you're checking in, going, I don't need to control that. I don't need to do that. So you're discovering the desire with your soul of saying, I don't need to. But at the same time, the root of you is saying, I got to run like hell from something because I have to take action. When you have to control, so let's just really look at it. Not where you are right now, but why would you even need to control something? And that is, you have in your a pattern that had come up around 4 months, 4 months old, 4 months old. The energy of, I'm assuming with your parents or whoever you were with, and that energy had a lot to do of how your parents displayed themselves to each other. Okay. So
Okay.
that energy that was coming off of them when you were 4 months old was action, action, action. So you're like, I was with somebody that was more of a sloth. They had no physical thing, they weren't active. And now I'm married to the Energizer Bunny. This man is bing, 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 all over the place. And it's just that he's physical, where I'm more spiritual. And so you are around people that there's always this drama, taking action. From what I can feel, there's a certain amount of energy that they could not. And I said, is this an epi they're passing on? They go, not quite. It is how you know that the environment sets a tone, and you're like, but I don't want to experience that. Does this make sense? I don't want to experience this. When I'm looking at it, like, what do you want to experience? It's the contempt It's like I don't want them to give me contempt.
Hmm.
So does this so far, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're used to, because you healed so much from there, the old part of you couldn't see when they would have contempt. So you would control and maneuver and do whatever and show up, help, people please, whatever you needed to do. So you wouldn't feel that from them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. That seems to be like your biggest fear. So the anxiety of when I go places and I have to communicate, the anxiety is that I feel completely insecure because I know the amount of contempt that they potentially could throw, bad things that potentially is going to happen because your body is telling me you have an engram. So you must have been sleeping around 4 months old when stuff energetically took and went down and your brain picked it up as real for you. So you it's like a dream, reminds you of a dream. So all of a sudden it's
Okay.
like your brain says this is what it is. So it didn't get the full information. Now, from that point forward, all you could do was feel like how maybe your mother or your father or somebody felt very self-conscious. I'm going to be watched, judged, I'm going to be policed. So if I control everything, then I ain't going to feel this over here.
Okay.
Okay. Your new level of where you're at in this unfoldment is that you're going to begin to see hidden stories. So instead of looking through that one perspective, you're stepping back. So the physical body was to put you in a position that you can have to relearn. The question will be, will you use fear to take you back, or will you go no to fear and rise?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, you wouldn't be here if you were going to just use fear and put you back. So you're like, no, I want answers. So I'm going to have you start doing R1S because this is about territorial control from what I can see of 4 month old. It's like somebody put their foot down, damn it. And that was it. And I can feel
Well, and
this
it's
great.
interesting because when you were saying, like, I was talking with my mom today, and she said my dad's been having the same sensations.
Okay, so I was wondering about the epi on that one. Okay, so let me go
Yeah.
through that. Let me go through
Okay.
that. So why is yeah, so you would identify with that part of him. You are also, oh, are you also a healer for your family to some degree? Do they know
Yeah.
how? Okay. Okay. So you're now understanding more of your purpose, not just to help heal you and heal your family, but how you're meant to communicate, how you are meant to discover, and how you are meant to grow. So you're knowing that you need to experience something so you have a greater understanding. Remember that hidden information is starting to come forward. So if I look and I ask Spirit, what are you allowing for this? Is that the anxiety that got carried is that this is how I'm supposed to see my life is through this anxiety. And I said, where is this? It's more on a spiritual nature. And the spiritual nature of having this anxiety is I'm supposed to constantly feel shy or awkward.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is that he's not willing to change that identity. The question you have now is, will you?
Okay. Well, yes.
Oh, good. I like that. Yes.
Well, because I can already see like the similarities going down to my daughter and the shy and awkward. Well,
Okay.
all my kids actually. And so I always try to like try to make things awkward on purpose for us
Okay.
all to like be, it's okay to be.
Yeah. So you've been learning skills that you didn't have when you were little. With kids, the gifts of what you're doing is you're learning that I can do something I couldn't do before. So this is why we have sometimes long-term relationships, whether we have kids or no kids, partners or whatever, but what you couldn't do, you're able to do now. Now you are learning. that you want to take out that, hey, it's not a big deal. You had to have this to get that compassion. You had to get this to get to that state of, um, I don't want to look through that one perspective. So there's good stuff that you want to see. They're having me go to, like, everything is okay. And it's not always that conclusion. So it's this lofty energy. Now I got to find it because we know that it's about how you sense yourself. Oh, I forgot to turn on. It's okay. Good for you. The energy. So I'm looking at how you sense yourself. So notice that my body, look at what I want to do. I feel like this is a problem and I want to scratch my head or I want to do something. Um, Hold on. Okay, so I've got to put the puzzle piece in place in order to continue. Um, so sometimes we need to line up with certain things so that it creates that easy flow. Okay. But sometimes we're like,
Okay.
I don't know if I want to go there, but I know I need to go there. And yet it is like if I so do you touch yourself, use your hands? Do you need to fidget?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's that tactile I was saying. So your tactile
Okay.
is letting you know is that it's like, um, so how do we want to do this? Oh, as soon as you start doing tactile, you're like, I'm deficient and I don't want to go
Mm,
any further. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. So the keyword is deficient. You're going to make sure you do R1D because you're now having to abuse yourself for doing it wrong. Did you get that last part?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So how then would that, instead of going right, would get more worse? So how do you abuse that self? How do you do that to yourself? Do you know?
Mm. Well,
You
I mean, I overanalyze
very
everything, and I
good.
always have that inner debate.
Very good. Very good. That is abuse because, and the reason that spirit is telling me that when you heard is that the moment you felt the deficiency from your parents or whoever was doing that, it was a disconnection from spirit. Go to the left brain. Left brain is constantly going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you got to think about all the way, you have to find the one answer. And your body is saying, that's the action. I have to take action. Now, you can't think your way out of a paper bag. And that's what everybody does when they're in stress. 80% of the blood leaves their forebrain and blood leaves their inside of their organs and goes out to the limbs and so you live as this big bag of anxiety. But that is the only way you to cope, handle, and deal with that situation, whatever that was. It's hidden information. I didn't know what it was. It boils down to this is my tool, but it is an abuse tool. It loses power. You're like, oh my God, oh my God. Now you have come a long ways from being a that too abusive to yourself. You've come a long way. You've come to the point where you're like, I do it. I don't really want to. You're recognizing it more and more. And you're like, oh gosh, when I get to the end of that, I don't like that feeling. So you're starting to say, I want to be done with this coping tool. Okay. But you don't know how to stop running. Um, so when we go towards what we want, we're running away from something we don't want. So your discovery is what don't you want? The stress.
Yeah.
What kind of stress? Can you label it? Can you figure it out? Can you do any of that?
Ooh, I don't. It just feels like I have to. I don't know. Be perfect for do everything for everyone. A lot
Wonderful.
of it stems from like being validated, being accepted.
Yeah, so you knew how to survive was that if I do it perfect, they won't do what?
Abandon me.
Good job, honey. Now you can start working on your heart, L1D. You have felt. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you what you felt like at 4 months old. So, mommy and daddy are around. You feel their presence, tactile, feeling their presence. My mother, when her son died, um, I was still quite young, and my mother was completely devastated. She was there, she fed us, she communicated with us, but she was not present. And I remember going, Mom, where are you? Basically, I couldn't see and feel my mother. I couldn't feel her consciousness in the body. And I felt abandoned. I felt lost. I felt scared. I felt alone. And I had to go through life thinking. And it was, that's part of the hidden information is that our parents are doing, they have shit shows every day, just like we do. And they're doing their best to get out of them too, in whatever way they can do it. So for you, I feel like you felt abandoned energetically that they were not present. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So by controlling that you're perfect and that you're always present, controlling, doing this, being a Johnny on the spot, it's you don't want to feel that not present moment. And you're now coming to the, oh, my child is going, I don't want to do emptiness syndrome. I don't want to do, okay. And so your mind is going to go everywhere, but it goes back to as I don't want to ever feel ever again. And they're saying this is really beyond excessive, that conscious feeling that I'm alone, that,
Yeah.
um, and so when they give you discouragement, disappointment, you feel alone. When you feel that you have to look for validation, it is you don't want those feelings. And again, I keep hearing this because they're not present. By you being connected and making it perfect, you're constantly making yourself present and you keep trying to seek if they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, with that one, you want to help your nerves. So you would always do this perfect thing, and you would, but this is how you built false realities. And you have to start looking at the realities you built that says, nope, it's okay. I'm validated, or they're listening, or that oh, gonna do this way. So you had to, in order to keep yourself safe, you had to create a false reality which is to think and it is to do these things so that you didn't go into that deep, horrifying feeling of, I have no confidence, I have no support, I have nothing. I'm going to be completely crushed. Your heart is saying, crushed. I'm just crushed, you know. And so, one slight little difference out of controlling your reality, do you feel that it's going to be crushed?
Hmm.
Hmm?
I mean, yeah.
So, we want to do some reverse engineering. You are going to hold these points, but what you're going to do now soul work. By doing
Okay.
nothing, what's my body feel like? Does it get fidgety? Okay, so my body is saying, we have to go in this pattern. We have to go in this pattern. We have to go in this pattern. And one of the things that it does is looking for reward and punishment.
Hmm.
It wants the reward. It doesn't want, if I do it perfect, you've got nothing to bitch about. I don't want, were you here when I wrote on the board that I don't want to be told that, oh, women talk on the phone too much. Oh, that's disgusting. And
Oh.
I believe them. I believe that they were right. It's like, you're, I'm a woman and you're describing me as a woman, but you're telling me it's bad. I had to heal that. Were you here for that?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we're looking at how the brain is looking and saying, they're right. And I must be bad. I must be wrong. I don't want them to say this to me. I don't want them to treat me this way. I don't want them to come to the conclusion and saying, oh, you're always late. And that's just, the gestures speak. You're afraid. Okay. Your body just said, I don't want to be alone. I don't want that abandonment. I don't want that emptiness feeling. I don't want that them not being present because I put my whole identity in them.
Ugh. Yeah.
There it is. Is that you
Yeah,
don't
I was
purpose.
thinking that like a couple minutes ago. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, they're your purpose. They're your identity. So you're going to have to start including L1S as well. And when you finally do this, you'll notice that you'll stop being the main purpose of how you kept yourself safe. Now you have to face to grow.
okay.
You do have a stronger purpose, but you don't want to believe it. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where we have to heal the hearts. You don't have to be crushed. You got to find meaning in who you are. And it's not your kids. The hardest part for me when I started was I'm not my house. I'm not my kids. I'm not my husband. I'm not my environment. I am not my mother. I am not, wait a minute, I'm born in this body. I can tell myself who I'm not, but yet I'm born in this body and I gave them the pen and they're telling me who I'm supposed to be. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So L1S and L1D is going to be your like um, two buddies because the heart don't want to be crushed. I don't want to see myself as this identity anymore. I don't want to believe in this insecurity anymore. I don't want to be afraid of what they're going to say. Why am I giving it all this? So you're feeling very vulnerable.
Okay.
You're looking for your identity, but your identity.
So pretty much the sensation of falling, because
Mm-hmm.
I took it as like two things. One, like calibrating with the change of the frequencies, or two, that, and not saying that it can't be both, that like because it definitely felt like it had like I had to be startled. That was the
Yes.
emotional feeling, was
Yes.
startle and fear with that feeling.
Yes.
So
So
okay.
yeah, yes. And you gave yourself a clue through lots of dreams, but you had to physically understand that your positioning in the world is that you felt startled. I think you gave yourself the clue. You felt startled that the fear of, and that's where, again, this falls into L1D and L1S. Your brain's trying to say, okay, you don't want to feel this again. So what are we going to do? We're going to check you out, take you somewhere else and have a purpose and a reasoning. But
Yeah.
you're ready to face it. I feel like you're ready to face it. You're back in grade school. You're going to go, okay, I'm facing this. I'm going to do this. Again, you don't need the outside to define you. You don't need to be perfect. You don't have to look for those flaws. And you're re-educating your intuition from ego to spirit, which will allow
Hmm.
you to go, oh, wait a minute. I didn't see how perfect it was to be an imperfect. Because now your physical body is saying, but we have an issue. We have an issue, which means I think the challenge is going to be for you is when you allow yourself to take that next step of when you go to do something, because you make jewelry, beautiful jewelry. And when you make that jewelry and you're looking about whether it's perfect or not perfect, they say they want you to start noticing, thank you, Spirit, show me what alignment purpose is with this. So you're going to look and spirit will start saying, it won't be judging. It'll be, how about if we put this flare here? And then you, they need you to start building in your brain to work with your heart brain coherence instead of your
Okay.
ego going, oh my God, I'm going to get judged, or the worst case scenario, or I'm going to be, nobody's going to show up, or, all of that. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
All right, so you're going to be doing a lot of journeying with L1S and L1D, and if you don't know the
Okay.
difference, grab, hold, and you'll figure out whether you're relaxing or squeezing because it's the same
Okay.
thing, just the thumb. You're ready. You're ready to make sure yourself have your own presence. Take your pen back, but it's looking at. mm, Start from there. If you keep on this journey, we'll be able to tell you more. Okay?
Okay, great. All right.
Don't
Thank you so
start yet.
much.
Oh, you are welcome. So
Okay.
again, it's nothing horrifying.
No.
Yeah, just moving that energy so that the brains can say, I don't need to keep creating the same stuff. Okay?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. That is good. That is very good. Okay. So now, Autumn, I see you said you're back. Let's see you there. And Judy, yes, I did record. And we've get Healing Heart says you got this, and so you got supportive. Ellie says, so you're new here? Elle, are you new here? Are you still here? Because if you are, you can get your free read. Okay, so this is stuff that you may not know, but this is about changing your world for better. It's the quantum law of attraction. Okay, so you understand that you don't have to, unless you have something specific you want to ask. Otherwise, spirit will just tell you, your soul says, well, this is what they want you to work on, to look at. And what I'm hearing is too close, too close, too close. And I feel like I'm a little girl that all of a sudden you're too close, too close. It's as if something is creeping upon your space and you don't like it. It makes you feel very uncomfortable. And it makes you feel like it reminds you of all of there's fears, it's bad stuff that could happen. I'm looking at around the foot, root and second chakra. Your 7-year-old self is saying that you feel very deficient because do you get people that micromanage you? Does that make any sense? You're laughing as if to say, yes. Okay. So understand, we're looking at roots that can inhibit you from having a great future. This is the life issues, the soul lessons. This is the stuff that if you want it to stop repeating. So soul is saying they want you to have a greater future. So what happens is that you've had a feeling that people made you feel like you were deficient or inefficient, and that they had a better way of being, or they had a control of what your life was supposed to be like. Now, I don't care if you have your control of your life now, there are going to be things that you have to get and resolve, the Akashic records from the past. They're saying around 7 years old, you felt very deficient and you felt like, I'm going to run from this. I'm shy because I don't want to have to be accused. I don't want to be accused. Does this make sense? So the body is not, it's like, I had a lot of insecurity when I was young. That's what they're saying. And that you may have overcome, you may have not think that you have insecurity, but the body is holding the insecurity. You understand what I'm saying? And the body's holding the insecurity, from what I can see, it looks like the large intestine. So the energy of that large intestine is that maybe you might have gas trouble, or you may have an unhealthy gut, or you may not have enough probiotic, or you may have constipation, whatever. It's in that large intestine area. And they're saying that you don't like when people take your territory. You can tell when people, you can take probiotics daily, but is certain probiotics, is it, if it's going through the gut, is the stomach acids killing off certain ones before it actually goes to the intestines where you need to go? Prebiotics, probiotics, certain things, certain fibers can help and transform it differently. So just so you understand, this is about healing. Did any of that resonate? Because the thing that they said is that you're little, don't like that when it creeps in and make you feel like you have to give up on yourself and be helpless. And you're like, I don't want that anymore. You know, again, I'm looking at a root because I feel like you want to do something, and it's just, I worked on myself now. I worked on myself now, and I release it. So you have your own tool of how you do it. That's all you need from me. You don't need an actual tool to help you change the frontal lobe. Okay, then so be it. My job is done. I gave you the information, and that's what you needed from me. Now, if you would like any more to really know you pulled it out by the root, then you can come back. Okay, and we can help. But if your tools are working, yay. Yay. Autumn, you won the PIF. You won the PIF. And so that means that we're going to talk about things. So what is it that you would like to talk about? And then if you need a healing to help you change the mental, emotional, or the physical, let me know. Elle says, no, you were very spot on from the child, so thank you so much. You're welcome. Just remember, this is about self-empowerment, and we have tools that can help you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, so you can change your life so that when you can look at your life, you can say, oh my God, I'm so different than I was before. So we're here to really support whatever you need to do. Okay. You just want me to dig in, Autumn? So recently you had a certain episode, and the reason that came up was that you've had to build a reality about yourself, false realities. You had to create a different world for yourself, Autumn, because everybody else was trying to control your life for so long, for so long. Does that make sense? And you, because of this, the eclipse, the energy, and basically we're in kindergarten again. One of the things that you're learning is about balance, and that is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And the balance in this case they're referring to is how do you need to keep believing in your deficiencies? There's something wrong with me. Now, in that, they're saying that the physical body is that, yes, we can prove that this is fact, that this is this and this is that. Then you are we have to help you unlearn that it's time to dig deeper to help the body, just like you've been, Autumn. But now we need to go deeper. So they said to have, there's something specific that they want me to pull in. So we will do just that because part of what you're going to be working on next, so you can create yourself to be the phoenix and rise, young lady, is that you are this woman that is ready to get back into balance with your spiritual human self. But it says here that we're looking at something that's out of balance, and it is, it's if you look at life, it's like this difficult situation that's going on, and it's stressful. So there may be some legal, is there legal stuff that's going on? And does it feel unfair, unjust? Is there something like that? Um, but it's like, do you feel like you want to set it straight or have justice or make it right? Or you know that you don't want stuff to go any more into karma. You're like, don't want to go there because the episode you had and you're like, no, I don't want to go there, which is a good thing. So your body's saying, get more centered, get more centered. That's what this card in reverse had said. And it was a 7 of forces. But what I'm hearing is that what pulled you out of your center is this anxiety that your nerves, so you'll feel it first, and then your body responds. Now, this is a very deep one, and it is the way the body has memorized itself. And they said to help the body start to switch is notice as you go to be you were scorned. You were scorned. If we were to, you've had it so repetitively, and it was not even just you, it's in the environment that you were in. You could feel the energy for you, your kind. I don't know, that could be culture, that could be color of skin, could be gender, but it's like you had to take the blame. And so, how do we put this? Have you ever, do you look like your father or your mother? Because in some races, some cultures, If you look like the person they dislike, then you're going to get the heat, even though the other person should have got the heat. No, it goes to you just because you remind them of. And at the same time, it's like I have to make sure that more fair, unfair, and unjust. Very good. And they feel that they have to use a negative pressure to make you get a positive result. So if they push you under pressure, you're going to do the right thing so you can become stronger. Now, that type of thinking might have worked, but it hasn't really worked because it has to do with that. Okay. So when your body and you are like, you're supposed to remain small, you're not, that's the message you got of it. You didn't hear that you're supposed to be stronger. And when everybody else started to do that, you didn't realize that you had a button that people were pushing. So I want you to start to remove this contempt, this unfairness that you can, you feel, but I want you to feel how that energy is coming at you and your body's saying, I can't handle it, can't handle it. So when you were not able to get your medicine, your body's like, I can't handle this. I want you to take your left wrist, third position, nice and deep. And I just measure how I can't handle it because you start to stim there. It's like when I'm looking at the brain, your brain, it has this energy that needs more energy but can't. It's stuck in a reactive energy state, which means you are to remain timid as a this is more of an epigenetics, meaning you pick this up through the family line that you're meant to be a certain way. So after you've done L3D, they want you to do L2S because you're meant to feel overpowered. And you're like, I don't want it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Good. So left wrist, second position, soft. So you got two particular points that I want you to help heal out so the brain and that personality and that part of your body can go, oh, I don't want to be drowning in this anymore. I want to get out of it. Helping the nerves, helping you to pull out of this believing that you have to have fear in order to live. That makes sense? Okay. Very good. Very good. Let's see. We've done that. We've done that. TP, are you still present? If you're still present, let me know. So who who wants to know? Your brain has shifted at something. So did you do any work or are you just intellectualizing and thinking? Because your energy is now in a different state. Um, just curious. You're hearing your words, but again, putting the blood back up into your brain is going to, what are we doing? Will make a major difference into getting out of stress mode so that you can think more with your whole self. There you go. All right, so there she is. I forgot what you named yourself. Dang it. Try it again. On Facebook so I can find you. Okay, here. Now I've sent it. I'm gonna, here's your link. If you want your family back and them not to pay the price, and is that you have to get out of those mental states of emotions, those emotional chemical peptides control. So you have cell and you have 50 trillion or 50 billion cells that works as a community. And these cells all work within a key, which is an emotional chemical peptide. And if you are sad, it locks in and it starts to vibrate as sad. And then if the other cells are saying, nope, you have to be angry, then you have to do this. If you're supposed to be shaming yourself, then there's this and this and that. But you're not in charge. These chemical peptides are in charge. So when you heal, you're changing and taking the key out. So the cells will stop vibrating that way, and you will bring some energy and back to the brain and the heart, which allows you to be the calm in the middle of the storm. And you can think greater than your environment. Okay. This is about the nature of reality. And can you change it? Yes. What tools you have? Let's see. Seen it. She's coming in. Now she has one. She had done a lot of sharing, and I believe it was a sharing of the video and stuff like this. So name got into the drawing. Okay, no problem. It is updating. So if you give me a few seconds, I need to address something. I heard something in the hallway fall. Let me just make sure that it's okay. Oh, now if I can get out of my own space here. No, it's all good. It's all good. Ah. Oh, she won for the two. Okay, comments on YouTube. Yes. So there's many ways of winning to get a chance to come on to the show. One of them was comment on the reels or comment on the YouTube, like the show after the show. Wow, this is a major delay. That's bizarre. Okay. So Oliver, I've never read you before, but yes, I can give you a free read while we're waiting. Okay. Oliver, you still here? So while we're doing that, Spirit is having me, there's stuff you've learned, and it feels good. I've learned stuff. Then it says, I see that I do certain behaviors. So you've been observing yourself, or at some point. Then they said that there are things that you do automatically when you start to feel awkward. They're saying that part you would like to look at and understand a little bit more. So, have you ever felt awkward? And the awkward literally is, from what I can feel, making you feel like shit. And so, when you start to feel each one of these things, it causes you to stunt your growth in the area that you want to be. So, let's say you want to have great YouTube, or you wanted to do something there, it is hit into the insecurity or the security part of who you are. Does this make sense? Now they're showing me this as part of your past. Don't know how your life is going right now, but I'm looking at how you identify yourself, Oliver, is that you can understand what timid and shyness is when you see it in others, but it becomes a feeling inside of you that I don't know. Can you recognize it? Because that is where you're losing strength. Oh, that's hilarious. There's an Oliver and you the same person? Because it's two different names. Because I was reading this one on TikTok where it says Oliver 68, and then over here it says I don't even know how to pronounce that. Are you the same person on two different names? Confused. Hmm. Figure that one out. So it's different people. And Oliver, 68, that just joined. I just gave you a reading, and that is, you have to watch it on YouTube. So the timestamp behind me, you'll see your name, you'll see the timestamp. Move the video along, you'll see the timestamp. Now Oliver, male or female? Oliver over here with an A. Oliver Luque. I'll give you a reading in just a moment. Theresa, hold on just for another minute,
Okay.
and I will give this person a read because I'm a little confused, but I didn't see that other person. So hang in there, sweetheart. Okay. So Oliver with an A. I can't, my brain is not allowing myself to pronunciate that, but that's okay. You can't do something, or somebody says you can't. I'm looking at a belief system. Oh, this battery is going to die. Hold on. And it's something I can't. I can't go fast enough. They remind me of a dream. The dream is like going, oh, I can't hit. It's like if I go to hit, oh, if I were to go to a punch and it becomes like a feather instead of a strength. So I can't. There's something there. I can't. Now it's also, I can't. It's like your feet are frozen. So they're keep telling me again, you have the stress of paralyzed will. Long story short, I feel that you feel like I can't be confident because I'm going to get my heart crushed. I can't because I learned that I'm supposed to be helpless because that's what they expect of me. And so fine. It's like I can't. There's a part of you that has I can't be who I am because I'm going to get bullied. Does this make sense? I can't. I can't. And does it resonate with you? Yes. So because it resonates with you, then what's going to happen is that I want you to understand that, like, I can't do what I want because I have to do things out of sympathy. I can't be. So when you keep hearing the word I can't, I want you to take the left wrist using your own body under the thumb, first position, nice and soft. Don't push deep. Finger and palm, create that letter C, safety, security, stability. Palm, forehead, let the finger drop, and just kind of experiment on measuring can't, can't, can't. Listening, because you got to get cluey about yourself. And you say it's a lot. Good, then you know. But do you want to identify yourself as that anymore? Do you want to change that? Okay, you can rewatch all this on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell. And all I can say is, hello, Missy, how are you? And um, Ames thinks this might be a clue for you. So you heard the reading, or you heard that my battery was low. What did anything resonate? Oh, her mic. Just on.
Me?
Yeah,
I thought
you.
you said Misty. I was like, oh, there's a
No,
Misty. I just thought you
Teresa.
said hi to your Misty.
Oh,
Hi.
did I say
That's
the
all.
wrong name? Let's find out.
No, I think you said Miss T, like Miss and then T, but I thought you said
Oh, Miss
Misty.
T. Yeah, it's Miss T. Yeah, Teresa. Oh, yeah. Okay.
My bad.
Well, I
Hi.
appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Aw. So how can I help you? You've commented, you've shared, you do all these things for
Mhm.
Medicine Woman Solution. And I totally appreciate it. So I'm glad that you won. So how can I help?
What spirit has for me, they know what I need. So,
All right, we'll do that. We'll do
okay.
just that. So do you know the word fanatical or do you not?
Fanatical?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so in your mind, what do you think fanatical means? You don't have to tell me out loud unless you feel confident to say it. What do you feel a
Mhm.
fanatical means?
For me personally, I think it means being like, I almost said fanatic about something, so that's not really answering. Like, now what I'm trying to put it into words, but it's not coming out from my head.
That's okay.
Like being like overly about something, you know what I mean?
That
Yes.
makes sense.
Okay. All right. So now we looked up the definition and it says extremely interested in something to
Hmm.
the degree that it's unreasonable. So you've got all this hyper focus and that it's fanatical. It's like nothing else matters. And it kind of deletes, distorts, and generalizes all the other stuff you're meant to see because you only want this one outcome.
Hmm.
Does this make sense? Okay.
Yes.
So that was a dictionary as well as a spiritual dictionary. So it's all of this energy. Have you been doing that at all?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay. So now if you, and I'm like, is she looking in the, yes. What happens here is that you are so doing this fanatical about how you're doing it wrong.
Hmm.
So do you do that? Do you go in
It's
and
funny
judge
because, like,
yourself?
right now, like, after you asked that last question, I seen myself going in like multiple different directions about the same thing, fanatical. Even for, but it's different things though, but I'm doing the same thing for the different things. So, yeah.
So good. So now what I'm going to do is, since you already know that, can you measure that? Like 10 being, oh, I can feel this. I understand
Hmm.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever number you come up with, I want you to grab your left wrist, first position, push in deep and get in that position and hold it and really feel and think. Now, you don't have to talk out loud. I can talk to other people while you're doing
Hmm.
this, or you can talk out loud going, oh, yes, I need to focus on this. However it is, really allow yourself to get into the feel. And what is she doing? She's using success hope therapy to look at how she's invested life force and how she knows her life and that pattern, that habit of her 41 thoughts. And it's weird because she just says, well, that's how I identified myself. I'm on the right path is when I do have these thoughts and these feelings. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, I was just saying that in my head.
Sorry, I'm not in your head. You're
Well,
just
no, I
like,
know that, but that's funny because I was just saying that because it's like this past week I was doing that. I'm just like, okay, I know I'm doing this wrong. I go, but this, I say, I know I'm this wrong. What am I supposed to be doing right? How am I supposed to be doing that? So yes, 100% I identify with that. Yep.
all right, so just keep your hand on your head and just allow yourself to feel. Again, there's nothing wrong with these personalities. These are choices. These are the way we want to be. But she's been investing a lot of her life force over here when her soul says, I'd like to resolve from this and I'm ready to take and bring on this new aspect of who I am. So we got to get her just to look a little differently. Now, to do that is to address, is to address. Okay. Oh my God. Shame, shame. Yeah. How much do you know shame? Because shame says, oh, that's why I think this way, is because I don't want to hear shame. And I'm controlled by shame. My whole head feels like I'm in a device right now.
Hmm. I know, Shane.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
is it right that they get to use it on you?
No.
Correct. And can you feel how you believe that they're right and you can't help but stop using it on yourself? You're like,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, so notice again why I need this fanatical. Because I want to create a diversion. Now I hear her brain going, she's getting fanatical. Good. Anytime I'm not in her space, I've got like a computer room in my mind, and my intuition is tuned up from the seventh plane, and it's like what she wants me to know, her soul wants me to know, it's on the screen. So it's like the volume gets turned up a little bit, and you can hear it. Oh, I didn't know that's how she did it. Okay, get back into healing. It's interesting, this next part, you go, fear. You're not using fear or showing me fear. You just got the word fear. You know why? I mean, can you look at the fanatical? But
Mhm.
what do you know about that word?
A lot is fear, like in many different aspects of like the daily life that I work
Now,
on.
notice that you're fanatical about that. You finally stopped creating a diversion, and I want you to just sit there and sit, grace and ease.
Yeah.
Don't amp it and ramp it. Just you're saying, because what I'm hearing you're saying is that you're ready to look at the word.
Okay.
Now, your spirit self says, why did I allow that to control my world? Yeah, you graduated up. I can feel that from that's good. You're kind of hesitant on breathing.
Yeah.
Like I want to breathe, but if they hear me, or if I exhale wrong, I'm going to get yelled at. I don't want. Oh, it's something I wrote on the board. I don't want them to say that about me. What is it, what they would say that it would hurt you?
That's funny because I had to do a breathing test this past week, like once a year. And I find myself, and I know I do this, I hold my breath. I don't know why. I'll catch myself after a while, like, how long have I been holding my breath? I'm like, and I don't realize I'm holding my breath. And then I let it out, or I take little short breaths.
Yep.
It's like an issue when I sleep too. I take short breaths, very small, short breaths. So it affects my breathing at night, my oxygen.
Yeah. The stress level is what you know.
Uh-huh.
And um, so the body wants to notice that, wants you to notice that this is what I'm supposed to be. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, no, I'm coming to my self-awareness. I'm coming to my self-awareness. And it's like how I used to protect myself as a kid. I don't need to really do that now. So you're beginning to become more attuned to that physical.
Uh-huh.
Instead of saying, you have this issue, you have this disease, you have this, you're like, but I can get these answers to change that. It's not quite written in stone anymore.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, because you're all getting over there and you're like, but I don't want to do what they say. You're getting a realization. I can feel it coming in. And you may be more clarified in a dream.
Uh-huh.
So, what number do you feel that you're at?
Maybe like two or one.
Very good, very good. Notice that is the broadcast from the outside very loud now? Just be
No.
aware. Very good. Now, can you make it small and basically just kind of like erase it? Like if it was a dry erase board, it was a picture and it just, now you can just erase it.
I just saw like the eraser on a pencil. So yeah, I can.
Good. So notice that that's gone. Now, the question is that I want you to feel what color would love or from the quantum field to support you? What color would that be that would be
They
there?
should be purple,
Good. Now, as you
which is
feel
my
this,
favorite. So thank you.
now feel this, feel how the universe and the quantum field is supporting you.
Hmm.
And again, fear, you got that eraser and you're like, I'm choosing no, no,
Hmm.
I'm done, done. Because as you're changing that, I'm beginning to feel how the habit is that it doesn't, lofty doesn't have to control you like a gun to your
Right.
head. You're like, yeah,
Hmm.
that doesn't work anymore. It's going to fall short right in front of me because I'm going to
Hmm.
erase it away.
Yep.
And the building of the false realities, because, and that I'm just going to see if I can explain this. So when the outside environment, the triggers from the people and the places and the things, your body's doing this, you are
Hmm.
going to, it's like you're moving inside going, body, we've got this. We're going to just push this energy out from us. We don't need it.
Right.
And as you're pushing it out further, it's like you can take a breath and you can see it, but you're learning to be the calm in the storm. And whatever their energy is all about them. It's not about having to morph into that. And you're like,
Right.
oh, so
But
you got
that,
a realization coming. I can really feel it.
yay.
Yeah.
I like
So
good
then the keep
realizations.
saying, do I have to show deficiency so that they will? I felt like if you did show deficiency, then they would leave you alone, or if I showed that something's wrong, they would, you fill in the blank.
Okay.
Well, what do you think it is?
I don't know if it has to, like, if I show deficiency. When you said that, it makes me think of like when I was struggling like this past week. Like I was using my walker and like I got stuck in grooves and I couldn't get out. It was a steep hill. It was supposed to be handicap accessible and it wasn't. And I was struggling like really bad. And able-bodied people were just passing me left and right. I'm like, don't go there, Teresa. Don't go there. Because I was going there for a moment, like nobody sees me, nobody can help me, nobody can do that. You know what I mean? So it's like
Good, good,
that's what I
good.
felt.
I'm
Like it's
proud of you
too like, don't go there.
because now what you're going to do later is that you're going to re-look back. So after the fact, and you're going to do this later when you want, and you can do it many times because you got tons of pictures of this. They said
Mm-hmm.
left wrist third position deep, so L3D.
Okay.
How you were always treated as an object, even when you're struggling, you were treated like
Mm-hmm.
an, and you used to panic because you expected them to help you, and
Yeah.
they didn't. Now, when you
Okay.
feel that they let you down or they were, you expected them to be there and they weren't, I want you to hold L1D because you had totally believed in that you were deficient, that I can't have confidence, I can't do
Mm-hmm.
this. But what you proved to yourself was that I don't have to look out the outside, I don't have to reach out, I have it in me. So did you
Mm-hmm.
get yourself out of that situation yourself?
It took me a while, but I did. It happened again. And at the second time, a gentleman saw me and he come running out to help. And I was like, thank you so much. So it happened both. I got it myself, but then if somebody nice, or I should say matching my vibration came to help me, is what I
Right,
should
you
say, because
turned it
he
around.
was.
You're
Yeah.
proving to yourself that you're turning it
Mm-hmm.
around, that yes, I can rely on myself and I can have
Mm-hmm.
the energy of someone to help me. So I think
Yeah.
that's really good improvement. So you've
Yeah.
got a couple places to work on, especially when you
Yeah.
don't really feel like you have that confidence. Start working more
Mm-hmm.
on it. It's ready to go. And more times you start to go, ah, and you feel like an object and expect L3D. Okay.
Okay.
But otherwise, what number do you feel like you have now?
I think it's gone. I feel gone. I feel good.
Hey, yeah, and just remember, to do the belly button and the forehead after the show
Mm-hmm.
and just keep that healing in, okay?
All right. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I love you, Teresa. Thank you
Love
for
you
everything.
too.
All
All
right,
right.
bye.
Bye-bye.
That is wonderful. She's growing. Yay. She's growing. It's like, where's my list? Well, the little thing shut off. Gotta look. Gotta look. So we have all of the PIFs done. Just gonna check with my moderators. Oh, I gotta do April Lynn, and then we'll bring Ayme on. So April Lynn, and then Ayme. Okay. Let me get this. What does Spirit want? Um, what angle is she coming from? Something is not quite clear. I'm not sure what it is. It's interesting that Who Wants to Know says, I'm here. Can I have one? A reading? Because I started to give you one. Are you in a different mindset? Because now you're saying, why do you suppress yourself? Okay, the good question and mirror is, why would you suppress yourself? You can answer that. If you're in a different perspective, you can have different questions. So then you've noticed, or allow one to change what they are doing if people will find fault regardless. And I feel like you've kind of moved out of those different state that you were in when you first got here. Can you see the different mindsets that you're in? That's what I'm going to notice. So we're going to go over to Miss April Lynn. And what do we have here? You're doing your best to figure something out. And you're looking, you're figuring it out. But there's some cloudy, like you need me to give you something as you, whatever you figured out. So Spirit, this is where we're going to go. Spirit says, have her notice how other people's limits cause muddled instability. So it's whatever they set the tone in the room, they put that energy out. Your body goes into this symptom that you may not be aware of. And it's not as invading, but it is so subtle that an automatic reaction comes in, because this reaction is built upon this is who and what I'm supposed to be. So if I'm looking further, what I'm hearing is that part of the identity that you are supposed to snapshot in is whining. So when you would hear, like, or feel or be moved by people that whine, I feel like you lose that sense of space and direction and sense of awareness of where you are physically. And I feel like you are propelled back in time, where all of a sudden this lofty, all I can hear is the Clue game, Who Done It? Or no, two games, Clue and Who Done It. So descriptions. But it is this lofty energy that is to find who's causing it, who's causing the problem, it's outside their realm. I'm feeling this way. It's not good. So doink, 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 doink. You're pointing, and it's like that's another aspect, I think, of your mother, I believe, where you're like, now this habit is about this muddle instability. This won't appear unless you feel muddled. This doesn't create a space unless you, so your body says, I need to be that identity of being muddled. Okay. Well, what do you want? Well, what we want is, notice that there's this disapproval. Now they're showing me like several mirrors, kind of like bouncing off each other. If someone is feeling disapproval, you can relate to them. And if somebody is throwing disapproval, you can relate that I need to throw disapproval. And when you are in the middle of, you're in the middle, somehow you're in the middle. And it's like, I need to see certain behaviors that I learned that's going to make me behave where things just look unfair, because I can't quite hear the words that people use to get me to give them the outcome that they're seeking. Okay. R3D. That's all they're going to say is R3D. Then they said L2D, because I don't want them to go any further in that erratic behavior. So I've trained myself to stop, do so. Oh, look at all the ones and two twos, and stop. And so I don't have to go there. But it's a snapshot that's right there just before you go there. You're like, I don't have the power to be heard, or I don't have the power to get them to hear me. I don't have I don't, even if I talk, they can only see their point of view. And if I'm trying to say to them, we could do something different, there is this argument. So I don't know who you're talking to or about with, but they're saying you're ready to start getting out of the karmic debt. And that is R1S. And this karmic debt is this, you know what karma is all about, coming back to balance. But the debt is that people have to do this, they have to do that, they have to do this to get themselves out. So there's the belief system, and we're going to use the idea of money as value and time. And it is the belief system that in order to survive, you've got to, and then fill in the blank, work hard. Okay. Scale from 0 to 10. You really have to. If I want things, then I'm going to have to go through hell to get that. That on a number, get rid of that. And those two things all are how the heart is gone into a love-hate relationship. I hate that I have to do this, but I love that I can get something out of this. And this is what you're taught, that you have to do things that you don't like so you can have insurance to stay safe, or that I have to do this because that's what I know, and I have to do this because of that. And it is stuck in this repetitive loop because it's not moving forward. It's not moving forward. So if you heal out certain belief systems, it should be able to open you up to another possibilities, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to go get Miss Ames. Oh, I got to open it up. Oh, that's good. Okay, we're good there. Oh, just felt I had surgery almost a week ago. Or was a week ago. I don't even remember. But ow. I just did a gesture on my face that didn't help. That hurt. Very good, very good. And we're going to let Ayme come in just a moment. Oh. Oh. Glad when that sharp piece is out. Here she comes. Hey, Pinky, how you doing? Pinky, how you doing? Oh.
I gotta turn that down.
Yep.
This is all changed.
Uh-oh.
How heck do I get so that we're side by side?
If you're on your big screen, go up to view.
Oh, I found it.
And then gallery.
There we go. No, it's got new. It's like all completely different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
New glasses. Those are good.
Glasses.
I went bigger and you went smaller.
Well, that's just this pair. That's just this pair. I got ones coming. They're either coming tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
Been an interesting few days, as you know.
Okay.
Dig in.
Just dig in. Okay. So I'm going to allow myself to, yeah, it's been very interesting. So you're part of this unfoldment. You've graduated up to another level. And the interesting details of what has been happening, if you could sum up, what is the main theme that's come up?
The main theme for the last probably 6 months is deficiency and helplessness.
And did you see a physical example with any of that in the last?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the peak of where we are. So you got the word fanaticals too. So you may as well just grab L1D, regardless if you have a count. Just grab it, because what they're saying is that you have identified on being crushed. You've created almost every obstacle to always crush your heart. It's like you wanted to make sure you understood what it meant to have your heart crushed.
That makes sense. I think that was my main theme yesterday.
Okay. So you can get the number high then. Okay, so just start really getting into that crushed aspect. Feel how, because you know it, feel how it has taken residency in your body. How it's such a knee-jerk automatic response. And she is identifying with it. But it is this habit. Just begin to now just say, what is a habit? What is this habit? I have this habit. And as you begin to notice this habit, and you identify yourself as this habit, I'm going to throw this word in there. Crushed, I'm crushed. Ready? Yearning.
That's what my littles were doing yesterday.
Okay, so they were yearning.
Mm-hmm.
And they believed more and more in the habit of fear, yes? In the habit of being crushed, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I also want you to do is notice that, oh, I know, and how much you're going to reject everybody else's reality. You wanted a particular outcome. And notice how you talked yourself into that false reality.
Mm-hmm.
The yearning, the longing. How much do you want to stomp your feet, throw a tantrum?
So much so that I went to bed at 8:30 last night.
Mhm. And you didn't get out of me. Okay, I've been healing out that I have to be a people pleaser. How does that affect you that I am not pleasing you? All the batteries around here are like, wow, 15%, 5%. What the heck? Oh, you lose your batteries. Yes, okay, that's a good example. To the point where you got to recharge yourself. So I'm your battery. I'm your outlet. You're a battery. You got very fanatical. You thought about this. You needed to plug in and charge in, and so you're not holding the pen and you're being creative, but you're wanting to plug in to get recharged. You just don't know how to do that yet for yourself.
Makes sense.
Now, notice how you want to throw a tantrum, how the longing was really real, and that your tactics didn't work. Even though you didn't really do a lot of tactics, you've been growing and healing and a lot of that. But at the same time, I changed my frequency. That, I think, affected you because we both bumped up to that different new level. We got to discover what that is.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel when you heard that I almost got taken out 3 times? Didn't matter, did it, at first?
I was like, Abe, I was like, holy shit.
Right, but what did your
Wow.
little give?
They were kind of indifferent about it.
because it doesn't know how to handle if I did leave. So they went numb. I don't really know if it was just completely indifferent, but it's like I made it about me. Your mother would have made it about her.
Mm-hmm.
Where would your place be then if she made it about herself?
That burner underneath the stove.
And notice how that relationship would have done what? You wanted a relationship with your mother, but all you got was she made it about herself, or
Mm-hmm.
dad, or everybody made it about themselves. What did you learn from that?
That I
Can you
wasn't
feel that?
important.
Say it again. Yeah, I feel that docile, that indifference that you have towards yourself. You didn't want to be present.
Mm-mm.
There wasn't really about a lot of pain. It's just, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like you are now 6 years old looking at deficiency as like indifferent. And yet at the same time, the littles are saying, no, 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 we want a particular outcome. And then your 6 year old's going, doesn't matter. You just saw it. Your mom gave the attention to whom?
My brother.
And what did you feel?
Rejection.
I want you to feel that. Because everything is rejection. Even though I had whatever I was doing, you felt I was rejecting you, like, I don't want her around. You gave me an attitude. What did you, can you see it? Okay. If the AY knows I wouldn't have done that, but the AM is saying what? I had gesture, I had tone, I had
Mm-hmm.
attitude,
Yeah.
I think. What I can see.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody cares
It was
about,
like, fine, I'm just gonna go to bed.
right. You're like, nobody cares about me. It's so funny. I've got 5 devices that are almost on empty batteries. They were fully charged when I started. So you're ready to face how your little coped and what your little believed, what your little experienced. Because AY is taking her pen back. AY is understanding her value. AY is knowing she don't have to plug into people to have an existence. This extreme opposite hurts. Feel the hurts. And it could be just as simple as feeling indifferent. Ooh, your AM just said she don't get me. She wants to justify why. Can you hear her? AY's got to tune in. Why would she think that I don't get her? Was she saying that about you? Oh, about you. Okay, parts of you are not getting you. Your little says, AY doesn't get me. She won't let me act this way. She doesn't understand my needs. I'm going to hold resentment on her. Take my cookies and go home. She's saying it about you. Oh, everybody's against me.
Because late yesterday, I didn't let her have her way and be in a shit show all day.
How dare you? How dare you raise your little girl and give her boundaries? That's what she says.
I would have been damned if I stayed in that shit show all day because I woke up in a shit show.
Aw. Yeah.
And I held a point and I mean, I was rocking. I was like stemming rocking, like all four directions, forwards, backwards,
Is that
left.
the one I helped you do? I mean,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, see, we graduated up. We both had to go through a stimming, which was everything was rocked. Our safety, our security, our stability, our sanity, serenity, and our space. Everything was so bombarded. I mean, it's like for me, it came out of nowhere. For you, it's like this is the same shit, different day thing. Where you, but it is you graduated to the next layer of awakening, and it's like, what are we going to do with this? And you chose to heal it. Okay, little Am is like going, what? But you do understand her,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to be that support for her. There you go. And I feel like part of her is like saying, why am I not shaming myself? It's like she waiting for you to shame her. You're showing up differently for yourself. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So is the denigrating less?
Yes. Yes. And if I
Good,
do catch myself, I can't clear delete it.
good, good, good. She's still going to try to pull rank and push you into changing your habit to match hers. Okay, but
Oh,
part of
because yesterday I didn't do any exercise at all yesterday. And I didn't throw myself under the bus for not doing it.
oh, good, good, good. But she pulled you out of your routine, out of supporting. Okay. Um, she said she's got a language. She's got a language of her own that it's like I am about shy and timid. So if we oof, if we me and spirit are going to get this computer to work properly, and we're going to say shy, and it means nervous in the company of other people, timid in the company of other people. So they're saying the environment. So being shy, that you have to be frightened of, startled, that you have to be um uh so how do you behave around others? You're changing how you feel around others, but you're changing how you behave around others. Um, you're saying your AY is saying, how uncomfortable are you? How self-conscious are you? How nervous are you? How much do you want to avoid? How much insecurity do you believe in? To the point where you feel breathless, blushing, you're shaking, you're speechless, you're the physiology is telling you what shyness, timid feels like. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. I wonder
So
if
I'm
part
going to
of,
tell you, go ahead.
I wonder if part of that is when I get cold.
Oh, yeah, I think that's part of the physiology. I want you to switch to L2D because the temperature gauge, the liver, that says that you have regret. So around 6 years old, you regret, and it's kind of like I regret something, and I think you became more deficient. I regret my actions. Would you have ever in your life not been compassionate about your brother, and your mother or father would have saw it and then crushed you? Do
Yeah,
you know
I
what?
think so. But what popped in for me was when my big brother, the one that's still alive, was teaching because what popped in was writing his name instead of my name.
Okay. Okay, let's run with that. In this case, it's not I don't really feel the emotion, but you can feel how I didn't want to do it. I can feel the pressure. I can feel how I want to avoid. Can you feel how you were self-conscious if you didn't do it? What would be the end result?
Yeah, he would have been mad or whatever it would have been.
And you were willing to take any love at that point.
Uh-huh.
So you didn't show compassion or interest or something that he was looking for. And I feel like you had to correct yourself so he would get the emotion, because the road that I feel like you were going down of wanting to pull away, not wanting to do that. Like, I don't want to do it right now, and I don't want to. And he's like, mm. So did you follow through and be a good girl, and then do
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then you followed through and became a people pleaser,
Hmm.
because what reward did he give you when you did that?
He gave me praise.
Okay. And notice that the need for the child was to get that certain amount of love from praise. Can you define that? Feels good. It was the approval.
Hmm. It
It
was
was it was a reward.
reward and punishment.
And you could feel that you were being helpful. And his whole attitude was one that, again, I feel like you didn't get enough of certain amount of praise or love. So what did you want from me yesterday? It wasn't just attention. You're like, fuck that. I want something else.
I'm not even sure what it was. I think I wanted a session, but all day I was exhausted and I knew I wouldn't be able to get where I needed to go.
All right. So what I feel with this new level you're at is that you're done playing this karmic debt where you feel hopeless and that you have to plug into a live part of me. Because when I give you and talk to you, do you feel my presence?
Yes.
Do you see my gestures, my tone, and the energy that I bring into the room?
Hmm.
Okay. When I'm not there, can you get that from yourself, from within, from your higher self? Do you get it from anybody, from family, friends, or whatever you're doing?
Most of the time I get it from myself.
Okay, but why weren't you there for yourself then? What is she saying? AY abandoned me. What is she saying?
I
AY
was
got lost.
playing a parent who wasn't present.
Why she has a beef with you, not me. Here comes the epiphany. I can feel it coming, man. It's a coming. Crack right open like a nut. So you know how to be absent from yourself, how not to be present for yourself. And she was trying to get it, her need, and you weren't there for
Trying to
her.
get the need met from the outside because I was displaying my parents. I was not present with myself at all yesterday.
Exactly. And then you shut her down.
Hmm.
Where did AY go?
I'm not even sure.
So you had to allow yourself to show up to your littles as your parents. And AY had to step aside and wait and watch, not even to the point where you could observe. And the very thing that you didn't want to be is what you became. I do not want to treat others out with
Less than.
discouragement. Hmm?
Discouraging, less than.
Okay. But you did it. You became the very thing that you said you put all that energy into. I am not doing that. And you did it to yourself. So that not, I am not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And when you switch to R1D, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And fill in the blank of how you know you're saying, I am not doing that. And yet you're doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't even pay attention yesterday for nothing.
Now, here's another little twist that we're doing. It's somehow connected to the behavior and the knots, but it is, you know what a people pleaser feels like. It's like you've done it so much that you actually get love and enjoyment. So you got hidden enjoyment into giving to people.
Hmm.
But as you're healing out the root of actually why you're people pleasing, and you'll know this because you'll get people that won't people please. And you're like, how can they do that? I can't do that. I'd never do that. You see how you learned how to get compassion from giving or people pleasing. But do you feel like it's an audacity? How could they get away with? Why would they treat people like that? Okay, you got it?
Hmm.
Okay, good. Just focus on that for a few minutes because it's like, I don't get. And then notice, son of a bitch, I'm a people pleaser. Thank you, Katie. Oh, Katie must have got something. She goes, thank you for the confirmation. Good, you're getting something out of it. Look at that realization wanting to, the wisdom wants to crack that egg open. I can feel it. Let's go back again. You're a people pleaser. You have to do it. This is who you are, even to the point where you love it and you're great and you're awesome. But at the same time, there's an automatic button people push of you ask for something or whatever. And all of a sudden they like, no. You're like, I would never do that. How can they do that? And then you go into victim stance of the little girl that says, I never, gotcha. I'll never get my needs met. We haven't even got to that part yet. You go into that extreme of, I'm not ever going to get my needs met. They say they love me, but they won't take care of me. What a rabbit hole, huh?
Yeah.
I just heard you. So do I have to believe in shame, guilt, and fear?
No, ma'am.
You're almost there. Almost there. So notice how the little had to go into the deep core of helplessness, of all of those feelings, and how I can't, and my needs aren't met, and I'm not going to be like them, and then I got to do everything in my power to get love. There you go. Get that brain to shift. I'm done. I don't have to do this anymore. I'm done.
I just heard I had to go there yesterday so I could see it from another perspective. And I missed myself.
So what number are you at?
I feel like I'm at a 0.
You are. So let me just help you understand as you click up, is that your scalar field, you just changed a code in it. You just changed a code. That means that you can stop attracting people in a certain way. Thank you with grace and ease that you learn to see what that is. And that you are able to have compassion. That means you're going to learn the wisdom, but you don't have to do over compassion. And then as that energy comes in, you're going to notice that you're going to be tested, but you're going to go, oh my God, I just passed my test. Your scalar field, that share field, you've got a new code in it. And you healed out to the point you remembered. That's good. I'm not sure how it's going to look. I'm going to be curious and have fun listening to you when you get there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Katie says, I learned we don't have to accept anything. Negative. We don't have to accept anything. It's the same phrase that you always say. Your go-to line of my wisdom is, I don't
have to believe my own BS, which is belief systems and bullshit.
exactly. You will literally start to shift your perspective. We can say, I don't accept that. Yeah, you literally can say no.
I'm not gonna accept that into my reality.
Now, remember, just understand, say, I don't accept that. You're just saying, because when you take out the knot in the left part of the brain, the brain will think is, I do have to accept. So just say, no, I reject that. I don't have to. I'm done.
I don't have, no,
Good. She says, I call my power back. Hell no, I don't accept that in my reality. I'm done. Yeah, that's their reality. Exactly. How often did we believe that we had to believe their illusion, which is just a delusion to us?
absolutely. And I was talking to somebody on my show today about how they don't have, or maybe it was last night, because I woke up at like 1 a.m. and went live. And it was about how they don't have to believe somebody else's truth about them.
Exactly. We have to get over being shocked. We have to stop thinking that's the truth. And we do it because our littles only could feel one side. We now have to support ourselves to the point where it's like, as we show up as our 5%, wait a minute, what the hell? Why do we believe they're right? Because our little did. And as we raise our littles, they're gonna go, you mean I don't have to believe that? How often have you bumped into your little that says, what? We don't have to believe that?
A lot lately. And they're kind of like shocked that they don't have to believe that anymore.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I, on the 22nd of next month, I'm going to the dentist, and I'm like within 20 minutes of my cousins whom I haven't seen in a while.
Ooh, that'll be
So
then.
I'm gonna go see them. And I'm actually excited.
Hey.
The cousin that is very open to everything.
Oh, excellent. A little bit more like-minded. Okay, well, we'll see how you fit once hopefully they went into back to grade school again and do this. And just like what Katie says, let people live their lives. And you're learning more about the and respect. Your little, is going, yeah, hold on. I don't have to. So that and respect's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And you can stand back and go, oh, not in judgment, but discernment. They're choosing that. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, my catalog of life. Yeah, been there, done that, don't care. I got the wisdom. I understand. So I don't have to judge them. And at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to cry and get upset they didn't grow with you. It is understanding where each one of you are at, different levels of you.
Mm-hmm.
We are the main characters in our life. Yes, we have to take our pen back. And again, I want to give you a little bit of praise because you actually, higher self, Ayme, said to the little, yeah, we're not giving our pen to Brenda. Come on now. But you showed yourself your own lesson. I didn't have to raise my hand. Other people outside didn't have to raise the hand. This is close to home, babe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was, I mean, yesterday was when I woke up, I'm like, okay, I don't want to be here.
Oh, wait.
I don't want to be in this state of mind.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That in that state of mind. No, I want to be here
Okay.
as AY, but I didn't want to be in that state of mind and be in a shit show all day and not be able to do the things that I wanted to do, like go get my new glasses.
Yeah, I got that dull sheen from you yesterday. And at the same time, it was like your higher self said, don't look at me. I've got this. And it was such a weird presence with you. And then it was at the same time as like, oh, okay, you
Yeah,
got
I
this.
mean, I was in a weird headspace. I don't have English words for it. All I can tell you is physically, I was exhausted.
Yeah, I think that was your soul's cue of getting AY out of the way so AM can. Oh, okay. So first of all, how's your dreaming? Is it off the charts?
It is. I mean, like actually having dreams. Like I texted you my dream from this morning.
Yes, yes. I don't remember a lot of my dreams, but this is what's happening, from what I can understand. So we believe this world is real, and our soul is the one that's sleeping. Okay. But when we're sleeping, our soul is real and knows the difference between it's dreaming. And I think what we're doing is because I feel like we're in this bridge, because we've moved forward, that we are really honing in on educating ourselves, like discovery, and then bringing that information in and rewriting and bringing that next leg of our soul contract is what I'm feeling. And so I'm excited about that.
Mhm,
Does that make sense?
mhm.
That bring that next leg in. And so I'm not really paying attention, but yet I am. But yet other people are like yours is unique. My husband's been unique. And so far with my husband's, it's just, yep, stepping up. That's what it means. Oh, my yin part of me is stepping up. They're communicating.
Yeah, it was my dream was like it was part of the town was being rebuilt. Like the buildings were being rebuilt. So I interpreted that as I'm rebuilding who I am.
Yeah, which would go perfectly to what you just worked on.
And there was, I mean, I saw um two two people were dead, but they were non-playable characters.
Right. You didn't need that particular aspects because they don't need to be played out. Like, when you are changing with new education, you don't go back to being naive. You don't have to learn it as through negative effects. It's like picking up a book and going, "Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, cool." So you don't need that particular personality characteristic or any of that. So it didn't die as much as it's no longer needed. So transformation and integration is taking place because you're rebuilding. So if you really look at how the communication process is happening,
It was like I'm like, I need to remember this, but I don't.
mhm.
Because there was more to it than what I remembered and what I wrote down.
Yeah, okay. But remember, it's always the last line and there's certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says death dreams go with dwelling on the past is unchangeable, or people's realities from before, trying to take over the mind. But if we leave that behind and let those people live their realities, we don't be haunted by their past. Because the only moment that exists as matters is always in the now. That is correct. But I also teach, and yes, one of the things I do is I also teach how to listen to your soul through dreams about giving progress report or where you're stuck at, or what each of those different metaphysical meanings about it. So death in this case is change. And being that it has to do with a personality or a body, has to do with what is no longer needed. Or because if you said they're non-player characters, now if you said it was like mom, then what part of your character that you picked up as mom that you no longer need? So you said it was a non-player character. I don't have to do these social skills, or I don't have to show up this way anymore or use this personality. So that is,
Because
thankfully.
when I looked it up in Dream Moods, none of that made sense. What, seeing death in a dream, it was like that's not it. It's change. It's letting go of something from the past and transforming into.
Right. So you're changing that definition. And this is why you have to, when you're reading a definition of what other humans have written, you have to understand, if you take it with a grain of salt, not with your ego mindset, but with your spiritual mindset, you will all of a sudden get gem pops to, you realize it's like a map pointing and helping and supporting. And so when you are in this existence of this moment, being present with yourself, you can create in an amazing moments,
You can.
which then supports your new future, because our old future, our future was always written from the 95 or 90% of what you had the day before. And it would continuously be that. But because you're choosing as that 5% soul to come in and go, wait a minute, I'm going to participate, you literally change the roots or the past, the records, and add new information, and your brain loves it. You have creating a new future. Good thing. All right, I'm going to let you go. And thank you so much. But before we go, what's the wisdom? What is the healing? How did you know you even grew? Why does these healing tools even work?
This healing tool works because it helps to take out the chemical peptides that your body has dumped from an emotion. And in healing out with 6S, oh my God, source point, one touch, and what am I missing?
I don't know. I just forgot about one touch. I'm like, what's, oh yeah, I know what that one is.
One touch, and deep source point.
Yep.
You actually get the wisdom. You actually get the wisdom from those stories that helped create you, but you don't need to be stuck in that story. That story doesn't have to own you anymore.
Right. There's no limitations, because you hit the providence of the mind where there's no limitations, and you don't have to interpret it with the survival mindset anymore. Excellent.
Whereas when other people say that they can heal you, you know,
You still have to participate with your own
you have to
consciousness.
participate with your own healing. Brenda can't heal anybody. She can only guide. She can
Mhm.
only heal herself.
See, a lot of people couldn't understand that, but you're doing it. You're healing me. I'm like, no.
Uh-uh.
Yes, I'll take credit for how I'm showing up, but you still have to make that decision and
You have
that
to
give
show up for
yourself
yourself.
permission. Exactly. And I don't want the responsibility of making sure you're whole 24/7. I'm born in this body. I got enough over here.
Mm-hmm.
Giving you the
And you're on the
skills.
other side of the world, so.
I don't have to feed you. You learned how to fish. You know how to take care of yourself. And once you
Mhm.
learn that, you keep that growth going.
And 5 years ago, those words were poison.
Say that again.
5 years ago, those words were poison because it was like, yeah, no, I need. And now it's like, no, you don't.
Isn't that huge?
It
Because
is.
you're
I mean,
helping to raise those littles that have confidence.
and I
Huh.
look, did you see that picture that I sent? It
Uh,
was a picture of you and me from a year ago.
oh, that one. Yes. Yeah.
And I sent it to Robin. And she goes, I can see the growth in both of you
Oh,
and the change. And
that's-
I looked at it and I'm like, wow, because we've both changed so much in just a year.
yes, you will. You will definitely. I just want to say thank you. She says these tools are very powerful for helping the physical body feel aligned and safe with the soul. Yes. With other tools, of course, but very beneficial for self-soothing. Exactly. The mental and emotional, spiritual, and physical. So yes, they do make a major difference.
Oh, they do. They do. And the first 3 years that I worked with you, I lost weight and I wasn't even trying.
Nah, don't you love that?
It's like it was like a byproduct.
There's benefits to just helping you help yourself,
Hmm.
listening to your innate wisdom that put you together. And when you two work together, you're amazing. Oh, you are welcome. Yes. And she sent us blessings and we'll send you blessings as well. All right. So I'm going to end up saying hashtag. You may as well finish this off with me. Hashtag resolve to
Resolve to
evolve.
evolve. Heal instead of deal.
Hashtag you can heal this. You can heal that.
Hashtag when in doubt, grab a tool. Heal it out.
Exactly. Did we say hashtag heal instead of deal? If we did,
Hashtag heal instead of deal. Yes.
oh, we need to say it at least 3 times. Okay. Hashtag thank you, spirit. Hashtag healing is a feeling.
Hashtag don't waste it, paste it.
Yes. There's a lot. And what they are, they're just cues to help you get back onto your soul track and look and how to work with quantum law of attraction and self-empowerment. Yes, you are already blessed. You're already whole. So I'm just going to let you go. I love you. We'll talk
I
to you
love
later.
you too.
Bye. You're already blessed and you're already whole. So stay blessed.